special day, keeping you more day in a special way. All right, all right, all right. Shabbat shalom, 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom, Baruch Shabbat. Brothers and sisters, it's truly an honor and a privilege today to come before you on this blessed Shabbat and to share with you here live on this cold weekend. We got some snow in the forecast, but I want to let's just kind of quickly open in prayer, and then I'm going to get into this lesson because so many people, and you need to tell the camps, tell them all to tune in to this lesson, especially those big camps, as Donald Trump says, the bigly camps, that their whole ministry is based off of Esau being the white man. We're going to show you where it originated from. Okay. And I'm going to go deeper than we did last time on this. So let's open up in prayer, and then we're going to go jump right in straight into it. All right. Father, we thank you and praise you for this blessed Shabbat that you've allowed us to see. We come before you on this blessed Shabbat as we make preparation to go into this season headed towards the new year, as we prepare to share in our historical dynamic from the biblical texts, the history of the so-called black people. And it is our desire and our prayer that you would give us the articulation of speech as we share this day, that you would give us, help us to empower us to communicate to those who are coming to glean off of what you give us to share on the subject matter, to bring full clarity and comprehension. We do come before you in the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, who came through 42 generations to enable us to be grafted back to the olive tree. We praise you and thank you for him, the anointed brother, Mashiach. We give you praise, give you honor. In Yahshua HaMashiach, we say hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Torah, amen. You know, I just said something. A lot of people don't know that. When you say, a lot of people say Mashiach, and those of you that are Hebrew scholars, you could attest to what I'm saying. And think about what you're saying. When you say Mashiach, do you actually know what you're saying? You're saying the anointed brother. Yahshua is the anointed brother, right? Mashiach. Mashi means to be anointed. Ak is a brother. So Yahshua is the Ha-Mashiach, the anointed brother. Now, my Torah only brothers, we had this battle down through the years, right? Every person that the Most High called is a Mashiach. But there's one specific person who was called to be Ha-Mashiach, which means that he's the one that's going to unify the nation and to bring the nation under one banner. That's why the significance of Ha is important when you say the Mashiach versus Mashiach, right? There's only one Ha-Mashiach. There could be many Mashiachs, anointed brothers, okay? Anointed sisters, but we don't say we don't say we don't say ma. I mean, how would you say anointed sister? Makoti. Makoth. Okay, so shikoth. We don't say shikoth, right? Anointed sister, okay. So that's your little nugget for the day from the language perspective. So yes, today, brothers and sisters, as you can see, let me see if I can bring it up on the screen here. As you can see from our title of the lesson, Esau the devil versus Yaakov the priest. Esau, and notice Esau is not white on this picture, right? Esau is red. And when you look at this picture of Esau, what do you see? Look at the contrast between Esau and Yaakov. Okay? One is red and one is a chocolate brother. Okay, so you got red as in red bone. Look, even his hair, they got his hair red. His lips are red. Everything red about him. Now look at me. I'm red. Okay. I could be an Edomite. It's a possibility. Does that exclude me from salvation if I was an ethnic Edomite? No, it does not. And I will tell you why it does not. From the scripture perspective, let's do this real quick. This is just kind of an introduction, because for all those haters that want to make Esau be somebody he's not, when Esau in fact looks like this, or you find some red brothers around here, right? I'm more inclined to believe I'm from Yaakov, but there's a possibility I could be from Esau. Okay, you could be from Esau. Okay, time will tell, right? But Esau is not eliminated from being a part of the covenant for two reasons. Number one, according to Genesis, Esau is the seed of Abraham. So, since Esau is the seed of Abraham, the promise was to Abraham and to his seed and to those that were bought with money, right? The stranger. So, under the house of Israel would also include anybody that is of Abraham's biological seed, which in great part of the seed, right, would include some of those who we call Hamites. Because Abraham, being the father of Epher, as we covered in a previous lesson, who the continent that they call Africa was named after. Some of them that we classify or give the label African are actually Hebrew, because the father is the one that carries, as we learned from the camps, the father is the one that carries the seed. Okay? So if the father is the one that carried the seed, and Abraham was a Hebrew, he married an African Edenic woman and had children by her, and who populated Africa, then guess what? The Hebrews. They the seed of Abraham. Right? Now, for those of you that don't like to address the precept, as you all like to say, precept. You don't comprehend precept because you take away the original. So let me do this real quick. I mentioned about Esau first, right? Boy, the camps hate this. They hate this verse right here. Okay, Leviticus, right? All right. I'm sorry, Deuteronomy 23. I'm somewhere else. Okay, so let's do this here. Those you brothers that's you brothers that's indoctrinated, infiltrated with camp doctrine, y'all gonna have to chew on this one. And you're gonna have to crack the screen. Because it's gonna always come back to bite you. Of all your hatred that you have to Esau, that you proclaim, right? That Esau, so a white man can't be saved and all that's nonsense, right? This is gonna bite you right here. It's gonna come back to bite you. All right. So let's do it. Okay, Deuteronomy 23 and 7. The reason is why. Let me blow this up so y'all can see it. I want the camp people to see this here. Somebody tag Bishop Nathaniel on this here. I know he he tells his members not to watch anybody else. They just ignore. But hey, and we Israelites, we supposed to teach each other. So if you got something that I can learn from, I'm gonna tune in. Okay? If you teach something wrong, I'm gonna show you your transgressions. Like, I'm gonna cry loud. Bear not. I'm gonna show IUIC, Bishop Nathaniel, your transgressions when you're teaching this false doctrine. You got a lot of them out there that's teaching that. I could go through, put on the screen links to everybody that teaches that, right? I reach out to them all the time. Call a brother. They won't call. Why? Because they're making money off of teaching falsehood, right? All right, now, so back to it. He says, thou shalt not abhor. I want to bring this, I want to blow this up real big. I want the world to see this. Let's make this full screen. Okay. Thou shalt not abhor, underline abhor, an Edomite, for he is thy brother. He is thy brother. Thou shalt not. One more time. I'm not even gonna finish the verse just yet. I just want to rub it in. I want to rub it in your face. I want you to get it in your spirit so you can get mad and throw something at the screen. You remember Jacob Esau used to say, you heathens. you stiff-necked Hebrew, you. All right. Jacob Israel is the brother that Mr. Hebrew one. He got the radio channel, Israelite Radio Network. Okay. He used to go off on Power Talk. You stiff-necked Hebrews down here in St. Lucifer, Missouri. All right. I want to rub it in. Let's read it again. Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. I'm going to do like they do. Rub it in. What does it mean to abhor? What does it mean to abhor an Edomite? See, read it, brother. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Read it again. Read. Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Bring it out. That's the pillar and the bullet point of your whole false doctrine of Esau being the white man, right? It's false on many levels. So many levels that this sharing I'm gonna do today is just a surface of that. And the reason why we put the title there, because I knew it was catchy, Esau the devil. I'll call Esau the devil. All right, catchy title, right? Esau the devil. You know what the devil is, right? Okay, now let me get back. So thou shalt not abhor an Edomite. Abhor, right? So we look at the word abhor, right? Let's bring it back in here so you can see. The word for abhor is ta'ab, which means to loathe, to morally detest. Wow.
What you bringing to the table, brother?
So when you hate on Esau and you put a label on Esau that you got incorrectly, it's called, what do you call that? When a person mistaken identity. Esau being the white man is a mistaken identity. That's identity theft to the highest mark, because we're gonna show you where it came from. Don't touch that dial. We're gonna go in deep, right? But Esau, he said, you shall not loathe or detest an Edomite, because if the so-called white man is Edom, then guess what? He's a Hebrew, and he's your brother, and you gotta love him. You gotta love him. That's what Torah said. Now, you gonna follow your emotions, or are you gonna follow what Torah says? Right? Do you want to be right, or do you want to follow Torah? Because you can make the scriptures and twist them around to satisfy your anger and frustration at white people, right? To give them a false identity so you have a reason to justify you're doing the same thing that they did in the Hamitic doctrine, to say the blacks was cursed with the curse of Canaan. They called it curse of Ham incorrectly, right? And wrote it down in the Talmudic writings. So I'm giving you a hint. Majority of falsehood narratives originated in Talmudic rabbinic writings, right? That's where your Esau is the white man doctrine originated. We're going to prove it to you today. We're going to prove it to you in a living room near you. Y'all better tag some people on here, because we about to go in deep, and we're going to do a soft reset. We're not going to do a hard reset on this doctrine yet, because I'm writing the book. I'm not going to give you all my ammunition that I got, because I got so much. Look, if I went to the court of law with this doctrine of Esau's white man, I would win bigly, as Trump says, bigly. I would win bigly on this. I got so much proof. I'm going to share just a little bit of it, because y'all going to have to buy my book. I need y'all financial support. I work hard and labor hard to produce this stuff. I need y'all to support a brother. I don't want a brother on the street begging for bread. All right. Now, y'all, those that's coming in, 16 people. I'm not going to boss you around, but I should have 16 likes, right? All right. I should have 16 likes on this video. 16 people in this room. When you like a video, it doesn't mean that you watch the whole thing. So that's the misnomer we get. If you're watching on your TV screen, we get that you can't. You actually can like it from the screen if you know how to navigate to the screen on the TV. Use your little remote control and go over there, and you can like. And if you got an advanced TV, you could even leave a comment from your TV. I figured it out this week. I was like, oh wow, you really can leave a comment and like something from the TV. Okay, they get. That's if you got a Samsung TV. I don't know. Maybe y'all got a LG. I got a Samsung TV, which is interactive with Samsung devices. So, but anyway, so back to Esau. So Esau, it says, you shall not abhor an Edomite, right? Let's continue. So, for he, talking about Esau, Edom, is thy Ak. So, if the Ashkenazim are Esau, then you ought to see him on the street and say, Shalom, my brother. Because if your doctrine holds water, then Esau is your brother, not your enemy. Right? Wait a minute, I'm looking for my crickets. So, oh, that's enough. So, see, y'all hate a brother for telling the truth. I will tell the truth because, hey, I'm not the one that's making buku money off of telling lies. Y'all are. So you got to continue to push that narrative, that lie, that Esau is a white man. But then, once again, if you are following Torah, law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, as y'all say, if you follow in Torah, then you're going to call him your brother, and you're going to say, Shalom, brother. Shalom, Ak. He's your brother. I want to make you so mad that you bust your screen. Because, hey, if the so-called white man is Esau, you can't hate him. Because Torah says don't. Because he's your brother. He's your brother from another mother. All right, let's get back here. All right, now. So he says what? Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor a Hamite, an Egyptian. Wait a minute. A Hamite? I can't abhor a Hamite? Right?
Wait a minute.
So all this doctrine, Esau, the white man, I can't have hatred towards him, and I can't hate the Hamites either. Because they my brother? Well, Esau was my brother, but what do you say about the Hamite, about the Egyptian because you was a stranger in his land? Wait a minute, brother. That just pours water on my whole doctrine that I've built. I built my camps off of empowering them with twisted scriptures to justify them to have a reason to hate the African Hamites and the so-called white man. I just gave them justification by using the Bible. I want to make you mad as hell today. I'm taking my time because I'm enjoying the interrogation right now. I'm gonna get really deep into the information, to the receipts, but I want to rub it in. You Edomite lover. Yes, we all should be Edomite lover. If that's according to Torah, whoever Esau is, we supposed to love him. He's our brother. But we're gonna prove to you that you're wrong. He ain't even who you think he is. Can I get a witness? All right, let's go back in here. All right. Right. Oh, Lion Pride said. Lion Pride said Esau and Yefeth fought my device from getting here since 8:55 a.m. Wow. Okay. Yeah, Toda said cozy. He said, bring it out, brother. Somebody, please. Somebody, look. Call them all. I don't. Bishop Bonnie, I think is one of the camp bishop. See, I'm a peon. I'm not on the level with Bishop Nathaniel. He'll never call me. Not at this stage of the game. Maybe earlier on when he was in Bigley, right? Okay. All the other camps to teach that. House of David, Sakari camp. I think the Sakari camp still teach that. Okay. But anyway, my number, please call me without hesitation. I welcome an open invitation. Matter of fact, I'll come to your city and we can sit and break bread and talk about it. And I don't have to do like Pastor Dow, right? Bring some Gentiles, is who they really are, with me, because number one, I love who the Most High says we're supposed to love. I hate what the Most High says we're supposed to hate. If the Most High chose to hate Esau, that's his prerogative and his privilege to hate Esau. But, watch out now, you are not the Most High, right? You're not the Most High. No stretch of the imagination, right? He reserves the right to be the Most High. You deserve the right to be the servant. And the servant is not greater than the master. The master chooses to hate or says he hate, whether it was a whole nation or whether it was an individual or whether it had to do with the Edomite spirit. See, because Esau was one person, not a whole nation that he hated. Uh-oh. That went over somebody's head. So, now, Esau, you shall not hate an Edomite, for he is thy brother, and you shall not abhor an Egyptian, because you was a stranger in his land. And watch this now. This next verse is going to make you mad as hell again. The children that are begotten of them, read again. The children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of of Yahweh, of Yahuwah, of Ahaya, whatever name you use. It says the children of them. Who's them? Y'all don't like me today. I'm trying to tell you. Stick to the scripts, as the young brother says. Stick to the scripts. The children of them. Who's them? Edom and Kemet. Mizraim. Wait a minute, brother. They're not from the father Abraham. They're Hamites. They from Esau. Esau's a white devil. The children of them that are begotten of them shall enter. Shall. Not possibly, not maybe, not, oh, if I let you in. No. He said they shall. What does it mean to say shall? They're going to. The children of them that are begotten of the children that are begotten of Esau and of Egypt, Mizraim, shall enter into the congregation of Yahuwah in their third generation. How many generations have passed since this Torah was written? Right? Now, I got some more ammunition. We're going to go back to the original precept. That's when you talk about precept. You can't precept by taking a verse here and a verse here and a verse here and stirring it up, making a cake. That's what the camps do. Right? Called the doctrine of devils. We got to stick with the precept. Dodo brain. Now, I gotta take a look. I'll be nice. I'm not gonna go back old Kazakh style. Every now and then it slips out on me. That's a dodo brainiac. And we're gonna prove to you it's a dodo brainiac doctrine. We're gonna prove it to you. All right. Now, the precept. Like they say in church, touch your neighbor, say the precept. What's the precept, brother? What's the precept? What's the precept? I've been begging to come on their show and have a debate on the subject for years. Can't get nobody to debate me on it. What's the precept? Doggone it. All right. Precept. Let's go to Genesis, right? The precept. All right. Now, Genesis 17. Because if we're going to teach the covenant, if we're going to teach the priesthood of Yah, we need to comprehend. That's why we're doing this whole series, showing you who the called out ones are. We've got to go back to what the Most High promised, right, to Abraham, who was a descendant of Terah, who was wicked. Right? But he was chosen in the midst of a wicked people. Just like we are in these lands of captivity. You were steeped in Christianity, and I was the minister of music for many years, playing the hell out of the organ for them. And the Most High said, wait a minute. Most High said,
wait a minute.
You're on the wrong team, brother. Gotta get you on the right side. He revealed some things to me, and I'm like, whoa, I did all that to do what? Right? Get on the right side. Get on the right team, right? Okay, now, so go back to the precept. You got to comprehend the precept. You can't be a covenant people if you don't comprehend the precept. Otherwise, you have a, what do they call it? A black extremist organization. That's why they're targeting the Hebrew Israelite as a whole, because we're not connected. But those that are in the forefront are being targeted because they're the ones that are speaking the loudest and representing the nation wrong. And so therefore, we're being given a label as being a black supremacist and not being a kingdom of priests who the Most High called us to be by our forefather Abraham. And he was not a supremacist at all. So we're going to show it to you right quick. And we're going to amplify this false doctrine, right? Okay, now. So, Genesis chapter 17, right? Let's go back real quick. I'm going to breeze through it real fast because there's a lot here, but I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay, so now, let's start at 1. Abraham was 90 years old and 9, and Yah appeared to Abraham and said to him, I am Almighty Yah, walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Yah, look at that. There goes the revelation right there. Abraham fell on his face. He need to beat his chest and say, we're Hebrew Israelites. That's when look, I'm gonna tell you something real quick and we'll get back into it. When I discovered I was an Israelite, I was like, wow, what did we do wrong? Because we didn't tell. Like I said, Deuteronomy 28, you the tail and not the head, right? As a nation. I'm not talking about individually. Individual accomplishments. We all have different individual accomplishments. Okay, but as a whole, as a nation, we're the tail. We don't have a nation. I was thinking yesterday, and I was buying some libations for the weekend. I said, where can we go to buy black brew? Where's the black brewing companies at? Mexicans got the Corona beers. They support their Corona nations. Where do we go to our local liquor store and find a black-owned libation company that we support? Right? It's not Bush. It's not Sutter Homes. And you can roll a whole list out. None of it is black owned. Okay. So we the tail, brothers. It's the tail for sure. All right, now. So Abraham fell on his face, and Yah talked with him, saying, as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of who? Many nations. Now underline this word right here, nation, right? Nations. Nations is the word goy, or plural, goyim. D Dollar said red stripe. I guess you have to go to a Jamaican store to find that. Okay. Now, all right. Let me get back. Okay, so behold, he said, where was that? For as for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be the father of many nations. Many nations. So the word nations has to do with the word Gentiles not used there. It's just goyim, which means nation, hence a Gentile, also a troop of animals or a flight of locusts. So I'm gonna make you the father of many nations. Now, to amplify that, we're gonna show you what that means. Because it doesn't mean that the many nations are your physical seed. We're gonna prove it to you by precepting the text as it is, right? Okay, let's go. For neither shall thy name be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for the father of many nations have I made with thee. Abraham. Okay. 3 syllables. Abraham. I'm not going to deal with that right now. Okay, now. I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee. So we know, underline seed, because we do know seed is impacted in that. That's why I saw this African brother teaching that it doesn't matter. No, brother. He went all through the table nation and he said it doesn't matter. It does matter because the Most High is going to remain, had the seed to remain, because the seed is part of the promise, brother. You can't throw the seed out and just say, we just got to be in Christ. I'm going to show you that in this lesson. What they do is called supersessionism or replacement theology. Okay. The reverse of that, you're going to see that in this lesson. Okay. Now, so, the seed after thee, so the seed is encased in that, right? So the seed between me and thy seed after thee in their generations for everlasting covenant to be a Elohim unto thee and to thy seed after thee. So number one, let's be clear. The seed has to remain. Somebody that is leading this thing has to be the seed, because that's part of the promise, that's part of the precept of the covenant of Yah. There must be a seed of Abraham intact. And specifically through that line that the Most High promised in that sequel. Okay? All right. Esau is still part of it, but he's not the leader of that seed, as we know. Okay. But you can't kick him out because he's not that leader of that seed, because he's part of the promise too. So is Ishmael. Okay, now, Abraham is said, after thy seed and thy generation after thee, and I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger. So the land belongs to the seed, right? Not the stranger. Although they can have a part in it, but the land belongs to Abraham's literal, not spiritual Israel. Watch that now. Throw the book at you. The literal seed, right? We're going to show you why it's important. Okay. So I will give unto thy seed, right? This land wherein you are a stranger. As we covered, Abraham was a stranger in Canaan and was under the rulership of a Shemite king called Shem Malak Sadak, still in Canaan. After he died, the Canaanites became the masters of the land and they corrupted it. But that's a whole nother lesson. Okay, now, so Abraham, thou shalt keep my covenant. Oh, let me back up. And the land wherein thou stranger, and the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, it will be their Elohim. Yah said to Abram, thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. This is my covenant which you shall keep between me and you and thy seed after you. Every man child among you shall be circumcised. And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. That's why Paul and his doctrine on circumcision, it can't override Yah's precept. Okay? Every male child among you shall be, not maybe, possibly, or it's a good idea to do it, but they shall be circumcised. And you shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. He that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed. There it is right there. He that is born, he that is bought with money. So this would be a servant of any stranger, right? Any niggers, which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house and he that is bought with money must be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. Now, that's what he said here, right? He said, every man child among you shall be circumcised, right? He that is born in your house. So you got two types of people born in Abraham's house, right? His seed and the stranger, which is not of the seed. How do you get that wrong? The stranger which is not of the seed, right? So anybody that's not of Abraham's seed could be a part of the circumcision, part of the covenant, because the Most High told Abraham, I'm going to bless your seed and those that are bought with money, his servants, right? That's why in the kingdom, there are going to be people that's going to be a part of the covenant, that's going to serve, not like chattel slavery, but be servants to the physical seed in the kingdom. Abraham had Hebrews that were serving him. They were still part of the covenant. Okay. So now, with that said, so I said that was my introduction. That if you are an Edomite, you are a brother to Israel, and anybody that hates the Edomite are in total disobedience to Torah. You are in, disobedience is at the sin of witchcraft. So if you teach in your camp to hate a people that you have laid with Esau, then you are in error, and you are teaching your camp to transgress against the covenant of Yah. Let that sink in for a minute, okay? Or two, or three, right? Now, are y'all still there? I know there was a lot. Okay, so now, back to the lesson at hand. Okay, so that was the foundation. So we got to get that foundation straight, right? We have to get that foundation straight. And when we get that foundation straight, once again, I want to show this picture on the screen here. The lesson is Esau, the devil, versus Yaakov, the priest, right? Esau looks like this brother on the left, right? That's Esau, the red people. Okay. Right. Okay. like the Gentile said, that was the intro. that was the intro. I got some stuff, some receipts, brother. Okay, now what I want to begin with is this here, right? So since the title of the lesson is Esau, the devil, right? We're gonna show you why Esau, the person, not the nation. We have to distinguish between Esau, the person, and Edom, the nation. Everything that was said, the application to Esau may not apply to Edom or Idumea, right? Especially if you go to Torah. One man shall not die for the sins of another man, but every man, right? I don't want to muff that up. Somebody help me out. Where is that at in the book of the law, right? The father's teeth, let me see, it's that one we talking about, the children's teeth are on the edge. It's Jeremiah 31, right? Okay, Jeremiah 31 and 29 says, in those days shall no more the fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children are set on edge. Let me bring it on the screen here. Okay. Let's move this out the way. Okay. 29. Let me get. Okay, the children are set on edge. But every one shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Right? So, every man's going to die for his own, right? Okay. Ezekiel 18 has it too as well. So let's go to Ezekiel 18. Verse 2 says, what mean you that you use this proverb concerning the land of Israel, saying the fathers have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth were set on edge? As I live, says Yah, you shall not have occasion any more to use this proverb in Israel. Behold, all souls are mine, as the souls of the fathers. So also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sinneth, it shall die. But if a man be just and do that which is lawful and right, so if an Edomite does that which is just, lawful, and right, if a Hamite does that which is just, lawful, and right, and have not eaten upon the mountains, neither have lifted up his eyes to the idols of the house of Israel, neither have he defiled his neighbor's wife, neither have he come near to a mistress woman, and have not oppressed any, but have restored to the debtor his pledge, have spoiled none by violence, have given his bread to the hungry, have covered the naked with garment, he that have not given forth his usury, neither have taken any increase, that have withdrawn his hand from iniquity, have executed true judgment between man and man, he walketh in my statutes, and keep my judgments, to deal truly. He is just, he is surely live, says Yah Elohim. And if he beget a son, that is a robber, a shedder of blood, that doth the like or any one of these things, and that doth not any of the duties, but even have eaten upon the mountains of defiled his neighbor's wife, right? Have oppressed the poor, the needy, have spoiled by violence, have not restored the pledge, and have lifted up his eyes into the idols, have committed abomination, have given forth upon usury, and have taken increase. Shall he then live? He shall not live. He hath done all these abominations. He shall surely die. His blood shall be upon who? Him. Okay. So y'all better go back to the table and read that one there. So you can't label the judgment of Esau on Idumea where it is not applicable, because there are judgments that were on Esau that did not necessarily apply to his seed. As we see in the Torah, he says the third generation, they shall enter into the congregation of Yah, as well as the Mizraimites, right? Drop your rocks. This is Torah. This is not Kazak Yah. What the Torah said. You want to follow Torah, you got to follow what Torah said. You can't follow what your emotion tells you to do. You can't follow your own feelings because you mad as hell because the white man gave you a bad deal. So you're going to teach a doctrine to damn them to the lake of fire because you mad, because you a tail, because your forefathers, the stiff-necked, disobedient self, didn't obey Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments. But you want to blame everybody else. So you want to become a black supremacist group and not a priest of Yah, following Yah's protocol, Yah's precepts, right? I can't say that again. Ooh, I promise you I can't say that again. Ooh. Oh my. Ooh, man. I'm gonna try to get it all in, brothers. This is one of the lessons that's a series in itself, right? Okay, all right. Let me catch my breath real quick. Take another drink. All right, y'all ready? All right. Y'all ready? I gotta get the clip from Farrakhan where he says, "Y'all all right?" Bless his heart. He's up in the age now. Okay. Now. So, where we start with this false doctrine, before we do that, we're going to show you why Esau, the person, was a devil, right? All right. So let's go to I'm gonna go backwards because I got it backwards. So I'm gonna go this way. Okay. So let's go to the book of Jasher, right? And we're going to read at this one particular verse, chapter 28. Everybody, let's go to Jasher 90. We're going to cover that too, okay? I'm going to move expeditiously now, okay? So I'm going to give you a whole lot. So you can, this part, you're going to have to reverse back and go back because I'm going to go fast, okay? All right. So 28 says, this is the book of Jasher, or Yashar, the ancient book of Yashar, chapter 28. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this for you so you can see what version I have here. You can download. This is a PDF copy of the ancient book of Yashar, or Jasher, okay, in translation based on the original Hebrew with the original introductory notes to the English edition, ancient book of Yashar, referred to in Joshua, 2 Samuel, ... Okay, this is faithfully translated from the original Hebrew to English, New York, published first edition 1840, right? Okay. So now we're going to go on the PDF. We're going to go to, so you might want to print, you might want to freeze the frame, copy that, go to Google, go to archive.org and search for that ancient book of Jasher. Look for that particular edition, right? 1840, and you'll have it, okay? So you're going to want to do that, and you're going to want to back this part up for those that don't have a copy of the book of Yashar or Jasher, right? So we're going to go to page 69 in the PDF and enter. Okay, now. So this is chapter 28. Okay, so we're going to skip down to we read all this already, but I want to just kind of zoom in on this part here, verse 18. It says, at that time, Isaac sent his younger son, Jacob, to the house of Shem. Right? Did you see that? Isaac sent his younger son, Jacob, that's the twin brother, to the house, get out the way, of Shem and Eber. So Jacob, Israel, was sent by his father Isaac to be tutored, we're going to show you, by Shem and Eber, who was his, I think, fourth great-grandfather, something like that. All right, you can follow the genealogy. This is not a genealogy class. That's a whole nother lesson in itself right there. So he was sent by his father Isaac to Shem and Eber to, watch what it says here, and he learned the instructions of Yah, right? Jacob, Israel, learned the instructions of Yah from under Shem and Eber. He learned the instructions of Yah, and Jacob remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 32 years. So, look, Jacob was taught how to be a priest by Shem, Eber, Isaac, and Abraham, his grandfather. His brother had, he didn't go through the school of theology to learn. As we say in Christianity, he went to the school of neology and learned the ways of Yah. He went to the fathers who were before Yah's face, right? Who learned the ways of Yah. So it said he was there for 32 years. And Esau, his brother, did not go, for he was not willing to go, and he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan, right? So Esau had an agenda, right? What was the agenda he had? Look at the next verse. Esau was continually hunting in the fields to bring home that he could get. So did Esau all the days. Esau was designing and deceitful man who hunted after the hearts of men and inveigled them or stole their minds. Esau, I can see why some of y'all embrace that Esau the white man. But look, it's a spiritual thing, right? Your theft shall enlarge, right? If you deal with that, and you look at the definition of your theft, which means he shall be to get together by trickery, right? By overthrowing, right? Okay, but anyway. And he learned instruction of Yah and remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 32 years. Oh, wait a minute, I missed my part. I'm in verse 19. Sorry about that. Esau was a designing and deceitful man, 100 after the hearts of men. He stole their minds. Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. He came as far as the field of Seir, the same is Edom, and he remained in the land of Seir, hunting in the field a year and 4 months. Right? Esau saw in the land of Seir the daughter of a man of Canaan. Her name was Yehudith or Yehudith, the daughter of Beri, son of Epher, from the families of Heth, the son of Canaan. Now, something interesting here that just jumped out at me here, right here in this book of Joshua, verse 22, is that Beri had a son named Epher. Abraham had a son named Epher by Keturah. So it seemed like earlier on this stage of the game, the Canaanites were practicing Torah. They were. They were in compliance with the covenant at this stage of the game, because Shem was the king, Malak Sadak, right? Adoni Sadak. Okay? It wasn't until after he died that they became idolatrous. Because remember, when Abraham left from Ur the Chaldees, they were idolatrous in Ur the Chaldees. The Most High told him, get out of Ur the Chaldees, go to Canaan. So Canaanite, at that junction of that time in history, were not pagan worshipers. They were servants of Yah under Shem. Man. See, we teach truth on this channel, brothers. We're gonna call it what it is, right? They fell away. Okay? They fell off into transgressing the laws and statutes of Yah after the man of Yah passed on. And they got their own king. Same thing happened in history, right? So, all right. Back here, Esau took her for a wife. He came to her. 40 years old was Esau when he took her. He brought her to Hebron, the land of his father, dwelling place. He dwelt there. It came to pass in those days he hunted in the 10th year of his life of Isaac, that in the 50th year of the life of Jacob, in that year died Shem, the son of Noah. Shem was 600 years old at his death. And when Shem died, Jacob returned to his father in Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. In the 56th year of his life of Jacob, people from Haran, Rebekah, was told concerning her brother Laban, the son of Bethuel, for the wife of Laban was barren in those days and bore no children. And also his handmaids bore none of him. And Yah afterwards remembered Adinah from the wife of Laban, and she conceived and bore twin daughters. Laban called the names of the daughters Leah and who? Rachel or Rachel. And those people came and told things to Rebekah. Rebekah rejoiced greatly, and Yah had visited her brother, and that he had gotten children. Okay? All right, now. I don't want to make this long, elongated, but I summarize it. So basically, they're basically explaining to you how it was set up to where we read earlier in the previous lesson, Esau went and killed Nimrod and took over the garments that the covers the coat of skins that the Most High put on Adam when he transgressed initially, that was passed down to Noah and Shem, and Ham stole it and gave it to his son Nimrod. Nimrod put on the skins of Abraham and became a conqueror and a killer. Esau knew about the skins. He went down and killed because he knew something about that coat, that conquering coat would make him great. So he went after that, after the flesh, and not after the spirit. Okay? All right. So now, with that said, let's move forward. All right. So now, where are we going from here? Okay, so I just wanted to show you that, right? Covered a whole lot of history in that brief summary. All right, so now, the two nations of people, right? Real quick, we'll touch this, and then we're going to get into the origins of Esau being the white man, right? So, Genesis 23, I'm just going to kind of quote, I'm not going to read it for the sake of time. Says, Yah said to her when she became pregnant, he said, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separate from your bowels, right? And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. So this is where it all begins. Who does the elder represent that's going to serve the younger? Right? So you got a whole lot of different doctrines about who Esau is, right? Nobody wants to be the servant. So everybody want to make Esau be that one, right? Who is that elder who's going to serve the younger. See where we going with this? So everybody wants to be the younger. So they don't want to be associated with Esau. So we'll make a doctrine of who Esau. Esau is the oppressor of Israel. So in a nutshell, I'm bringing it to you without reading it. Esau being Rome, because after all, it was the Romans that oppressed the Israelites in 70 AD. Am I right about it? Right? So why not make Esau be Rome? And let's use the book of Joshua to support it. We're going to go to chapter 90, and we're going to make him be one kingdom with Rome. And we're going to push the narrative that, oh, Esau and Rome are the same people. The Esau founded Rome. We're going to write about it in books, and we're going to pass it down because we know in the last days, Deuteronomy chapter 30, that the children of Israel are going to wake up and know they Israel, and they're going to say, oh, we Israel, and who are they? Oh, they must be Esau. Right? Okay. So, key I want to bring out in that passage, it says that 2 nations. The word for nations used in that is goy. Right? And then it says, and 2 manner of people. Is one phrase used in the 2 manner of people is the word called laum, which means to gather or community. Right? So, it didn't say 2 colors of people, as the camp doctrine teaches. It says 2 nations, right? It says 2 nations, like in Genesis 17:20, right? In reference to Ishmael, he said he'll make him a great nation, right? And Genesis 18:18, regarding Abraham, he said, I'll make you a great nation. We read that earlier, right? Genesis 35:11, he made reference to Yaakov, saying, I'm going to make him a nation, right? So he didn't say, I'm going to make 2 colors of people, because all so-called whites are not the same people. They're tribal people. They're not from the same stock. So you can't hold that doctrine as a true doctrine, because all whites are not the same, just like all blacks are not the same, right? Right, so I'm cutting some stuff short, right? So then this leads us to the next point, to the point of contention, right? So who started this Esau being the white man, right? Who started teaching that Esau was the white man, right? Did the Hebrews start teaching that? Did the so-called Hebrew Israelites of the day start teaching that? No! Okay. Now, would you be surprised to find out that the converts who gave us the Talmud started equating Esau with Rome without any proof? And justifying in Jasher 90. I'm going to read real quick and we'll get back to this here. So go to Jasher 90 real quick. All right. So let's pull up Jasher. Okay. And let's go all the way down to chapter 90. Oh my goodness. Way down here. Somewhere down here. Okay. Where am I at now? 45. That's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get there. I'm scrolling fast. Okay. Let's see where we at. 60. Whew. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy. Let's see where we at. 83, we're almost there. Okay, all right. 86. Okay, 88. All right, 89. Here we go. All the way down here now, mind you, through all that. Okay, so here is where we say, let's see. I want a specific verse here. I don't want to read all of that. Okay, hold on. Let's do it this way. Let's look for it real quick. Okay, here we go. Okay, what is this? Chapter 90. Okay. That must be a summary page. Okay. This is after 5 years when Joshua had subdued the whole Canaan, right? So it's a whole lot of history here. I'm gonna kind of summarize it here. So remember I told you after Shem and Eber died, that the Canaanites now got their own Canaanite king who was pagan and they started serving idols, right? So this is why Joshua was sent there now to recover, to restore, to reinstate the kingdom back under the covenant, the banner of Yah, right? Under the covenant, the son of Abraham, right? Okay, now, so it was foreshadowed because the Most High knew that Shem was going to, and Eber were going to die. So he wanted to raise up the seed of Abraham, who was righteous, to continue with the righteous laws of the land that was promised to Abraham's seed, or promised to Shem from his father Noah. Okay, so now when you go back in here, so now that's why you see Joshua was fighting against the Canaanites, because they become pagans. Severe battles had rose between Edom and Chittim, right? So Edom began to fight against Rome. Rome is Chittim, right? Okay. Edom came under the hand of Chittim, and they became one kingdom ever since, right? Notice what it said. Edom came under Chittim, and they became one kingdom ever since. They became one kingdom. Now, there's a difference between becoming one people, one kingdom, right? Just like the African American Negroes are in America under the kingdom, the nation of America, but we are not one people. We are a people under another nation. So you can't, as I taught years ago, that Esau became one with Rome, and so Rome is synonymous with Esau, which is false, because they became under, and we can see that in the book of Maccabees, if we was to go there, that Idumea, the descendants of Esau, were under the authority of Rome. Still Edomites, but still under the authority of Rome. Okay, now, so that's where that origin begins. They say Esau became one with Chittim, or Rome. Joshua divides the land between the tribes of Israel in the 26th year after he entered the promised land. Joshua, now 108 years old, exhorts the people to follow the ways of God and renews covenant. See, that's what I just said. So in the land of Canaan, when Joshua is raised up, after the death of Shem and Eber, Abraham, all the pioneers, Joshua, taught, restored back in that land that was once a covenant Canaanites to be a leader to reinstate them back under the covenant. That's why now we comprehend now why the Most High told them to go in there and destroy him. Don't marry him. Because they were so far gone. It was the restoration for them at that point. You had to wipe them out. Right? Okay, and what did they do in Judges chapter 3? They married him anyway. Okay, now. So he said, 108 years old exhorts the people to follow the ways of Yah. He renews the covenant. All the patriots taken from Egypt in coffins are buried, each in the possessing of the offerings of Joshua died at the age of 110. And Eleazar, the son of Aharon, also dies. Now, I didn't want to jump all the way to chapter 90 because I was going to cover this in the future session. But for the sake of the topic, we're talking about the origin of this Esau being a white man. I had to go there to point to you the origin of Rome and Esau, the connection, right? Not that they're the same people, but because they became under the kingdom of Rome, okay? Becoming under the kingdom of Rome does not make them the same people, right? Let me say that again. Coming under the kingdom of Rome does not make them the same people, no more than coming under the United States of America doesn't make us European. You follow me? So, Israelites went into Babylon, right? 2 Kings chapter 17, but that does not make them Babylonians. They were Israelites under the kingdom of Babylon. They were still Israelites in Babylon, right? So everywhere Israel went into captivity, they didn't lose their identity. So when Esau went into captivity under Rome, he didn't lose his identity. He just became an Edomite in the land of Rome. Okay. Are we clear now? Hopefully we got that. So we got to stop using Joshua 90 to say that Rome is Esau because he became one kingdom, meaning that he was under the rulership of the Romans, he was not a Roman himself. Okay. Woo. I got a whole lot more. I'm gonna get deeper and deeper. Right? All right. Oh man, I got so much to get out. I can't get it out fast enough. All right. Woo. So now. So the rabbinic teachers, I gotta show you this part. I quoted 2 Kings chapter 17, right? All right. I'm not gonna pull it up because I'll keep moving. Okay. We all know the story. When the king of Assyria took the children of Israel, let's read it real quick. 2 Kings 17, real quick, because I want you to see it, and I don't want to lose my pace. I'm going fast, so I want to. So 2 Kings chapter 17, and I want to go to the king of Assyria took the children of Israel out of and replaced them from Kuhath, right? That's verse 24. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's do it here real quick. Okay, 24. It says here that this is where you get your origin of the Talmud. Okay, so here we go. Talmudic teachings or oral teachings. Okay. The king of Assyria brought men from Babylon and from Kuhath and from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. Right? So now, that does not make the Samaritans Israelites because they were Samaritan citizens. So that's why when during the days of the Messiah, when the woman at the well was a Samaritan, she said, our fathers, right? And Yahshua told him, he said, salvation is of Yahudim, because he knew that the Samaritans were not descendants of Abraham in no form, fashion, or shape. They were converts, right? All right, let's go back in here. So now, That's Second Kings. So now, I asked a question. I asked AI, when did this Rome being associated with Esau come into fruition, right? Okay. AI said, I'm going to show you my notes real quick. AI said, rabbinic literature began connecting Rome to Edom primarily around the time of the Bar Kokhba rebellion against the Romans, which occurred between 132 to 135 CE, marking the first significant cluster of midrashim explicitly identifying Rome with Edom. So who gave you Rome being Edom? Right? It was the 2nd century. So I asked another question. I said, well, who are the rabbis in the 2nd century? And here's what I found. I'm going to open up a link here. All right. All right. So this is what I found. It said rabbis in the 2nd century were Jewish scholars and ritual specialists who lived in Palestine and Babylonia. Some examples of 2nd century rabbis include Rabbi Akiva, Judah Hanasi, Abagorian of Sidon, Dosa ben Harkanas, Eleazar ben Simeon, Eleazar ben Petra, Eleazar Chisma, Eleazar HaKapar, and Eleazar ben Hyrcanus. It said rabbis were interpreters of Jewish law and were a small professional class of men. Right? They were often part of the remnant of Judean intelligentsia who fled to Galilee after the destruction of the temple in 70 CE. Let me read that again. Pardon. Rabbis were interpreters of Jewish law and were a small professional class of men. They were often, didn't say they were the nation of Israel, so they were a small class of professional men. They were often part of the remnant of Judean intelligentsia who fled to Galilee after the destruction of the temple in 70 CE. I wonder who those people were that fled to Galilee, because we know 70 AD, Israelites was getting out the land. Israelites were getting away from the Romans. They was getting out that land, brothers and sisters. So I wonder who that was going to Galilee, getting them scrolls. Somebody had an agenda, right? Okay. That requires further study. All right. Now, he says rabbis were interpreters of Jewish law. Sorry, I read that part. Let's read. Rabbi writings are found in rabbinic and Talmudic literature. Mishnah, which was compiled by Jonah ha-Nasi around who? 200 CE. So there goes your Mishnah. Underline that Mishnah, right? Was primarily reference work for rabbinic schools. The Talmud was a compilation of Mishnah and rabbinic commentaries, right? Here's pictures of these and writings. You can get some of these writings, right? Okay, we're not going to do that today. Maybe in a future lesson. Maybe I'll get WeWork now. He likes stuff like this. Maybe I'll send him a message. Hey, brother, dig into that a little bit, because he got all kinds of Jewish Talmudic writings and stuff. He has a whole library there. I'm sure he knows about a lot of this stuff here. He covers a lot of it on his channel, right? Richardson Kelly Richardson. How do you keep his name mixed up? Is it Kelly Richardson? Yeah, Pastor Kelly Richardson. Yeah, right. We woke now. So I'm gonna leave that to him, right? Oh, I want to throw a shout out too. Maury Josiah is doing Black history in the Bible. So I'm not going to do our Bible's Black History series as I generally do. I cover clips. I'm gonna continue with our series on this here, and I'll open up with some readings and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm gonna kind of stick along with the call at once, because I want to continue along with this until we get to Pesach. Okay. So we're gonna cover a lot of stuff in the interim, right? Okay, so it was the rabbis, it was the rabbinic scholars that started the teaching that Rome was Esau, right? And they're not factual, right? We're gonna read something in a minute. All right. So now, AI gave us that information, and I'm going to go to another link, and this is called the Torah.com. This is a Jewish link. So we're gonna go to this link. Now, most of the stuff in this link here we already covered, but let's read this opening line here. So for those of you that are interested in links, send me a $100 contribution. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, my other calling was comedian. I should have been a comedian. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not giving AI any more credit than he deserves, of course, because AI misses it sometimes. He misses it, but sometimes he gets it right. I can concur with what he's saying, because we're going to show it to you. Okay, so now it says here, this is from the Torah.com link, and it's called, the title of this article is called The Torah, Esau, the Ancestor of Rome. Esau, the Ancestor of Rome, right? In the Bible, Esau is the ancestor of the Edomites who lived on Mount Seir, right? Southwestern Judah, right? So now there are people that teach that doctrine Esau dwelled in the Caucasus Mountains. They're ignorant because they don't know there was mountains in Israel. Today they still are there. There's still mountains in Israel. That's where Esau dwelled. And when you go down to the territory where Esau sojourned, and I've been there, you'll see the mountains. You'll know that's, the cleft of the rock, right? To get to the Dead Sea, you got to go around the mountains to get there. Okay, I done been there. Okay, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about something I read in a book. I done been there and saw it with my eyes. I drove on that mountain where there's only one lane coming, one lane going, and there's no margin of error there. If you don't know how to drive, I looked over on the side. I was like, man, there's a car over there on the side. I guess he didn't make it. He was sitting on the top of the mountain. Car just, how you going to recover that car from sitting on top of the mountain? Got to get a helicopter to come there and pull them out of there, whatever. But hey, so mountains in Israel, yes, plenty of mountains in Israel, plenty of mountains in southern Israel where Esau, Idumea dwelled in the mountains, right? Okay, let's go back in. So Mount Seir, southwest of Yehuda. So Mount Seir, southwest of Yehuda. So how did the rabbis come to associate Esau, how much time do I got, with Rome? two main factors are at work here: Christianity and Herod. Okay? So, two main factors that connected Esau with Rome. Not historically, but theoretically, I guess. They connected. In other words, what they did, they spiritualized a people and labeled them Edom. Okay. Just like the camp doctrine spiritualizes Esau by saying, see, he's red all over here. Here, see, Esau, they different shades of red, right? Right? They call them rednecks. I used to teach all that nonsense, right? Okay. So the two main factors of the origin of that was Christianity and Herod, right? Now, this is Dr. Malka Z. Simkovich. Okay. We're going to skip through all of them. I'm not going to read this. And you can read this if you're interested in the link. Matter of fact, here, I'll just put it in. I'll put it in the comments. So if you're interested in the link, let's see, where's my, all right, there you go. Okay, that's the link to the article. Okay, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I want to get to a bullet point. Okay, where am I at here? Let's close this one down. This is the one I'm at. Okay, so now here you see Esau and Jacob, the sibling rivalry. We're not going to cover that. Esau struggling in the womb, and there he said, 2 nations are in thy womb. 2 separate people shall issue from the bodies. Okay, so that's the origin. You know, you follow the camp doctrine, you hear them. See, let's go to Genesis 25. 2 nations are in thy womb, right? 1 people shall be greater than the other, right? Then Esau came out. Esau was red all over like a hairy garment, right? That so-called white man is red, right? That's the spiritualizing the text. Same thing that the rabbis did, spiritualizing the text by making Rome to be Esau because of the oppression of the Roman government on the Israelite nation at the time of the conquer of the Romans, right? Okay. So Israel, Edom, the historical connection. So I'm not going to read that. Judean and Idumean, the Second Temple times. Okay, let's read this part right here. Judea and Idumea in the Second Temple time, after the destruction of Yehuda in 586, the Edomites who sided with the Babylonians in their conquest, Psalms 137:7, expanded their territory, holding westward all the way to Ashkelon, setting in much of what was once southern Judah, including Hebron, and the Yehudites began to return to the late 6th century BCE. The Edomites were entrenched in south, and antagonism between the groups was heated. Right. Now, he says centuries later, when the Maccabees rebelled against the Syrian Greeks in 167 BCE, we did that. We covered that. We covered that in a previous lesson, right? The Judeans also took their fight to the Idumeans in Maccabees, 1 Maccabees 565, with adjustments. Yehuda and his brothers went out and made war on the sons of Esau in the land of the south. So now, here's an interesting thing we got to cover, like to the Gentiles, right? Esau was still recognized as Edomite or Idumea in 167 BCE. He was still identified as Idumea under the Roman government, which we covered earlier, right? So how can he be Rome if he was identified being under the government of Rome during the Maccabees, right? Let's continue, okay? So Idumea, right, it says here, centuries later, when the Maccabees rebelled against the Syrian Greeks in 167 BCE, Judeans also took their fight to the Idumeans with adjustments. Yehuda and his brethren went out and made war on the sons of Esau in the land of the south. So where was Esau at? In the land of the south. He wasn't in the land of the north in Rome. Well, how can he be Rome? Because simultaneously, a clan of Esau was under Roman government, but the other sons still had the kingdom thriving in the southern lands called Idumea. So Idumea still existed while one of the clans of Esau's sons had went to the Roman lands to fight. Okay, remember, Esau had multiple nations, right? Let's continue. All right. And Yehuda and his brothers went out and made war with the sons of Esau in the lands of the south, and struck Hebron and its daughters, and tore down its fortress, and burned the towers all round it. After the establishment of Judea as an independent polity, the Hasmonean high priest John Hyrcanus conquered the Idumeans. Look at that. He conquered the Idumeans and forced them to convert to Judaism. It says, thus for the second time, Yaakov ruled over Esau. Okay. So, what did we learn so far, right? Like the Gentiles. We learned that Esau was forced to convert under, right, the Israelites. We read that in our previous lesson. I keep saying I'm repeating myself. Okay? So they conquered the Idumeans and forced them to convert. In the works of Josephus, Antiquities 13:9, as well as in Maccabees, right? Okay. So we see that during the Roman government, Esau still existed as a separate people from the Romans at this junction. So when did he become Rome? It's a fable, right? I'm going to show you. All right, now. Edom and Rome. The basic sketch of the relationship between the policies of Israel and Yehuda and Judea and Edom Idumea during the biblical and Second Temple period indicates that Edom was a polity that ruled from Mount Seir area from Wadi al-Hassa, southeast of the Dead Sea, in modern-day Jordan, and southward, eventually extending westward to Ashkelon on the Mediterranean coast and northward up to Hebron in the Second Temple period, right? Now, some of this stuff that he wrote in the article, I got receipts for that. Some going to be in my book. He's quoted from other books. This is a Jewish person that's telling you the story. You can go to Funk and Wagnall's Jewish Encyclopedia. A lot of stuff is in there. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. And yet, Rabbinic Midrash associates Esau and Edom with a completely different geographical area. That's what we just said. The Midrash, as well as the historical books, identifies Idumea and the Maccabees too as well. With Esau, I think it was Zepho in the north, and the other sons of Esau, I can't remember which king it was, and still in Idumea, right? Okay. And yet Rabbinic Midrash associate Esau with Edom in completely different geographical areas. The city of Rome in Italian peninsula and speaks of Romans are all Edomites. How did this develop? Question mark. I believe that the two main factors were at work here. Christianity and Herod, he says again, right? To understand the development of the rabbinic interpretation of Esau and Edom, we need to look at a parallel process of allegorizing Esau, which begins with the Jewish Christ, believing homilistic Paul of Tarsus, ca. 564-67. So now this is some stuff that he's writing based on his opinion. I can concur with some of it, so let's just go ahead and go with it, okay? In his epistle of Romans, Paul reminds his readers that that Yah chose Isaac, not Ishmael, among Arabian sons because Isaac was a child of promise and not just a child of the flesh. Already in the epistle of the Galatians, Paul characterized his opponents as Ishmael. Read it again, right? So he's saying in the epistle of Galatians, Paul characterized his opponents as Ishmael. Right? That's where you get your Esau have I love, Esau have I love, Jacob have I hated, right? That comes from Paul. He's quoting, okay, so he's making a point. He says, a point implied at the beginning of Romans 9 as well. After describing how Yah had chosen Isaac, Paul writes that Yah similarly chose Jacob, Romans 9, 10 through 13. He goes on to say, when she, Rebekah, had conceived children by one husband, our ancestor Isaac, even before they had been born or had done any good or bad, so Yah's purpose of election might continue not by works but by call, she was told, Genesis 25:23. The elder shall serve the younger, as is written, Malachi 1:3. Have I loved Jacob, but I have hated Esau. By trying the choice of Jacob to the choice of Isaac, Paul implies, but does not state outright, that his followers should be identified with Jacob and his opponents should be identified with Esau, right? So, in other words, so bringing it home. So what he's saying is this, right? The replacement, Christians replace, the church became the spiritual Israel, Jacob. And those that practice the law of Yah become the spiritual Esau. That's what the Christian church did with it. Okay. Now let's continue. The epistle of Barnabas is a few decades after. Now, I'm reading this because I've already gone over it already. I had the receipts. I could link them in here, show you the writing, and I'm not going to do that. He already did it for you. You can do it yourself if you choose to. All the camps that want to kind of kick against what I'm sharing, hey, do your homework first before you come at me, because I eat you up and spit you out. All right. But I already did the homework. But this brother here, he kind of laid it out, so he kind of made it easy without me having to give you a link here, read from this book here, read from this book here, read from the Encyclopedia, Jewish Encyclopedia, read from Modern Judaism, and read from all these other books. Who is Esau, Edom, and Idumea, and he put it all in one place. Okay, so let's go with it, right? All right, now. Epistle of Barnabas, a few decades after Paul, in the late first and early centuries, the author of the pseudonymous letter known as Epistle of Barnabas, a work considered canonical by some sects of Christianity, used prophecy about Rebekah's two sons in reference to contemporary group of Barnabas 13:1 through 3. Okay, he says, but let's see if this people, the Israelites, it's called Israelite, in their error or the former Jesus, I'm just going to read Jesus, followers. And if the covenant belongs to us or to them, hear you now what the scripture says concerning the people. So he makes a distinction between the followers of Jesus, right, versus the law keepers, right? How often do we hear the apologists say that? You know, you're only saved by following Jesus. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether you're a Jew or not. You have to come under Jesus, right? That's where they got that from right here. It's the epistle of Barnabas, right? Okay, 2 days are under thy womb, 2 people in thy belly, and 1 people shall surpass the other. The elder shall serve the younger. You ought to understand who Isaac and Rebekah, and concerning what person he declared that this people should be greater than that. He goes to say here, Barnabas implies that the Jesus followers, right, the younger group, are Jacob. Remember, he said, the younger shall serve the elder. So he says, the younger group are the followers of Jesus. That's Christian doctrine, right? That's the supersessionism, right? And the younger, Jacob, whereas the older group are Esau. whereas he says the Jews, the older group, are Esau. This contrasts sharply with Paul, for whom the main distinction between Esau and Yaakov was between types of Christ followers, his group versus that of his opponents in Jerusalem. It would never be occurred to Paul to exclude Jews from Yaakov as Barnabas does. This difference is best explained by Paul's history of the Christ-believing group, which was composed largely of non-Jews and often identified the Jews as the other, right? So now, the next source he uses Tertullian, right? I got the book. It's called the Ante-Nicene Father. I think it's, I want to say, is it 9 volumes? It's a lot of volumes, right? Okay, so I got this. I think this is volume 3. Okay, the reference to that, he's quoting from this, or he's pulling from this, right? Okay, so let's go in here. So Tertullian against the Jews, right? So that's the writing in this book. It's called Tertullian, actually Tertullian to the Jews, apology to, something like that. But he got against the Jews. I think it's Tertullian to apology to the Jews, something like that. Okay, but anyway, let's go with it. The first church father to state explicitly that Yaakov symbolizes the church and Esau, the Jews, is Tertullian in 155 through 240 CE of Carthage, right? So Tertullian was a Carthaginian. Okay. Who were the Carthaginians, right? Y'all not ready for this. The Carthaginians were Edomites, right? And Phoenicians or Canaanites combination. So remember, Esau intermingled and married with the Canaanites. So Tertullian was of that stock. So he flipped the script to take the attention off of who the real Edomites are, to make Esau be somebody else, and later on, the other Ashkenazim that came and grabbed a hold of it, they took that and ran with it, and they printed it in their books, and they made it as a doctrine of truth that Rome is Esau. Okay, you see how this happened? So the real Edomites, who were African Edenic people, flipped the script by making the real Israelites be Esau. Okay, let's go back in now. The first church father, okay, says the Jews of Tertullian of Carthage often describes as the father of Latin Christianity. Why? Because of what he's going to say here. Tertullian argues that Yah's prophecy to Rebekah that the greater shall serve the younger refers to the older nation of the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites, who will one day serve the younger nation of Christians, right? He writes that Yah promised that from Rebekah's womb, 2 people are and 2 clans were about to come forth. They are, of course, I'm going to read just as he has it here, the Jews, that is Israel, and the Gentiles, that is us. Who is the us? The Edomite Grecians, not Grecians, but Phoenicians, Canaanites, who had a whole nother doctrine. The original Christians, right, didn't start with the Roman Empire. Roman grabbed it and they flipped it and they took it another direction, right? Dukes is not the Dukes of England, no. I used to teach that, but no, Dukes of England are not Esau. Okay, we'll look at that in a second. Lion Pride. Good to see you, my brother. Let me go ahead and do my. I didn't do no greetings today. I was just going. I'm going in deep here. But man, let's just do a generic greeting because this is a lot of. Greet everybody. All right, that came in. I'll kind of call your name out a little bit. Okay, this is some deep stuff here. Okay, now. So the elder people, namely Jewish, inevitably will serve the younger. The younger people, namely the Christians, will rise above the elder. So that's where this begins. So they're connecting the Christians to the spiritual Israel, right, which is supersessionism, and those of us who keep the covenant, we are the seed of the flesh, right? So they're connecting the doctrine of Paul with that new embracing of replacement. Okay, let's continue. He says, in fact, our people that is the later, having forsaken the idols to which previously we used to be devoted, were converted to the same Elohim from whom Israel departed. For thus the younger people, that is the later, rose above the older people while it was attaining the grace and divine honor from which Israel had been divorced. Wow, how about that? This new approach would give way to a pattern of Christian writings which read the patriarchal narratives and biblical prophecies, Christology, assuming that the annulment of the covenant with Israel and establishment of a new covenant with Christians was part of the original divine plan, that the Christians embodied the true people of Israel. Isn't that what vocab Malone be teaching? That's what vocab Malone teach. That's where they got it from, right? Okay. So now, let's read this part. The voice of Yaakov in the arms of Esau. Naturally, the rabbis consider Yaakov to be the ancestor of the Jews. But instead of saying that Esau is the ancestor of Christianity, they describe him as an ancestor of Rome. The earliest example of this connection of rabbinic literature appears in the Jerusalem Talmud, 4th century CE, glossing the scene in which Yaakov dons fury, goat skin, and pretend to be his hairy brother Esau, and Isaac, who can no longer see in his old age, grows perplexed. So let me back this up again, right? Because he says something real powerful here. The rabbis, naturally, he says, the rabbis consider Yaakov to be the ancestor of the Jews. Okay. That's a whole nother lesson because you have 12 tribes of Israel. So where are the other 11 tribes? Everybody can't be from the tribe of Yehuda, right? Okay. But instead of saying that Esau is the ancestor of Christianity, which there are actually books that actually say that, I might pull one up. I might pull a rabbit out of the hat before we close this down and show you where they actually say it in the book. Right? I got some receipts. This is good stuff, but I got some receipts outside of this I'm gonna pull up. Okay. So stand by it. Don't touch that dog because you're gonna miss out on a lot, right? This is a lesson that requires, this is probably a 6 month to a year lesson that I'm doing in a 2-hour video. All right. So he said the rabbis consider Yaakov to be the ancestor of the Jews, but instead Esau is the ancestor of Christianity. They describe him as the ancestor of Rome because why? Because who gave you Christianity? The modern Christianity. The Romans, right? So the rabbinic people say, well, since the Romans gave us Christianity and they anti-Torah, let's make Rome Esau, right? It's a no-brainer, right? We're gonna make Rome Esau because after all, Edomites hate Israel, and so they created Christianity to keep Israel in oppression. So let's make Rome and Edom one and the same. One and the same. See the deception there? And Israelites teach that because it pacifies the emotions that we have, the hatred we have towards the so-called white man. It makes you feel good to lash out at them and use the Bible. You said you hate Esau and white too. You spitting all over the streets, that stuff, right? Okay. You don't know your father. You know your father, the early church fathers, the ones that gave that, right? Tertullian, as we just saw. Okay, let's go back in. All right, so he says that the earliest example of this connection in rabbinic literature appears in the Jerusalem Talmud, 4th, 5th century CE, glossing the scene in which Yaakov dons fiery goatskin to pretend to be his hairy brother Esau, and Isaac, who could no longer see his old age, grows perplexed. So, in the 4th and 5th century CE is when they first started teaching that. Why did they wait till the 4th and 5th century? What happened around the 4th and 5th century, brothers and sisters? What happened in 325 AD? By unanimous decision. Somebody tell me what happened in 325 AD. What happened? Right? So what happened in the 4th century was what gave them the right to say that the Jews, in fact, to say that the Christian Rome were Edomites, and put it in print and make it believable because, oh, after all, it seemed like that, yeah, it could be true. Because, yeah, they hate the Israelites. So the doctrine of Christianity that tells us not to keep the law, that came from Esau. Oh my, oh my. I'm telling you, bro, that's where it came from. It didn't start in the Hebrew Israelite congregations. We embrace doctrines of the devil from the imposters. Right? Now, so he says in the Jerusalem Talmud in the 4th century, right? Let's see what he has here. He's got in Hebrew on the left. So Yaakov drew close to his father Isaac, who felt him and wondered. The voices, is this the voice of Yaakov? Yet the hands are the hands of Esau? The Jerusalem Talmud suggests that Isaac's statement alludes to the pain that Esau's descendants will cause Yaakov's descendants. He gives a Talmudic reference, Tanit 4 and 8, right? It is taught, Rabbi Yehuda ben Rabbi Ilay Baruch said, Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi used to offer this homily. The voice is the voice of Yaakov, but the hands are the hands of Esau. The voice is the voice of Yaakov crying out because of what the hands of Esau did to him in Beitar. This passage refers to the catastrophic conflict between Rome and the people of Judea, which took part in 132 to 135 CE, popularly known as the Bar Kokhba Rebellion, after the Jewish leader Simeon Bar Kokhba. So there's your origin right there. So they took and embraced that doctrine that Esau is Rome on the basis of this Bar Kokhba Rebellion, as they call it. Woo, look at that, huh? This war resulted in Romans razing Jerusalem to the ground and razing Jerusalem to the ground, and the destruction of the city of Beitar, where the Romans believed leaders of rebellion were stationed. In reference to Beitar's destruction, This Talmudic legend clearly associates the Roman Empire with Esau and presents Jews and Romans as the eternal antagonists. Man, oh man alive. So there goes your origin, brothers and sisters. So Esau being the white man, right? It didn't start. It started as a result of the Bar Kokhba rebellion, right? He goes deeper into it. Let's go to the next part. Hadrian, the king of Edom. Midrash Takuma, mid-first millennium CE, takes the step further and connects Edom with the emperor Hadrian, who put down the Bar Kokhba revolt, Warsaw, Bereshit 7. Right now, after Hadrian, king of Edom, conquered the world, he returned to Rome and said to his officers, I want you to make me a deity, since I have conquered the world. They said to him, but you have not yet established your rule over his Elohim city and his house. He went, succeeded, destroyed the temple, exiled Israel, and returned to Rome. He said to them, I have now destroyed his house and burnt his temple and exiled his people, and now make me a deity. Now remember, we covered in the previous lesson, we showed you how that when the Romans took over Jerusalem, they did what? They took the temple of Jerusalem and turned it into a house of Jupiter. I kid you not. You can't make this stuff up, brother. You cannot make this stuff up. They took the house of Elohim, the house of Yah in Jerusalem, and turned it to a temple for Jupiter. That's why they teach that Rome is Esau. We're amplifying. We're showing you through this narrative. This is how that doctrine began. All right. So he said, make me a deity. Takuma here conflates the Great Rebellion against Rome, which led to the destruction of the temple in 70 CE, with the Bar Kokhba rebellion 60 years later, and thus makes Hadrian, not Vespasian or Titus, to destroy the temple, right? Okay. Interesting, right? Putting history aside, however, we can see how this midrash makes the most powerful nation in the world into one that fears or at least respects the Elohim of Israel. Moreover, Hadrian subordinates in this story see the real battle in the world as one between Rome and Yehuda, i.e. Esau and Yaakov. A midrash found in Genesis Rabbah, mid-first millennium CE, also connects Emperor Hadrian with Esau. Genesis Rabbah 63 and 7. Okay. Two nations, Goyim, are in your womb. Two proud Goyim nations are in your womb. This one is proud of his world, and that one is proud of his world. This one is proud of his kingdom, and that one is proud of his kingdom. Two prides of their nations are in your womb. Hadrian amongst the Gentiles, and Solomon amongst the Israelites. He says, this midrash identifies the two nations in Rebekah's womb with Solomon, 10th century BCE, and Hadrian, 2nd century CE, two great rulers of Rome and Israel, respectively. These two rulers were not contemporaries, of course, but each represents his respective kingdom at its most expanded, powerful movement. So when you look at the doctrine that the camps teach, you got Israel established way back BCE, and then you got Europe established way back after the time of the Enlightenment, after the Dark Ages, I should say. So, and then they bring it all the way to the 20th century about the astronauts going to the moon. And putting the American flag on the moon and saying the eagle has landed. Come on, brothers. Come on, man. And this is what you teach as solid foundation? You pass all these thousands of years to make a prophetic utterance represent the moon landing? Come on now. And you want me to believe that that's a smart doctrine? You're doing the same thing that they did here. Look at it again. He said, Midrash identifies two nations in Rebekah's womb. Solomon, look what he says, 10th century BCE. In other words, 1000. And Hadrian, 2nd century CE. That'd be 100 AD. From 100 AD to 200 AD, that is supposed to be a doctrine, a pillar of truth that Esau's roam from 1000 BCE to fulfilled in the 1st century, 2nd century, first 100 to 200 AD. That's a fulfillment of that. That's what they gave. And we flipped the script and we made it to be the eagle landed on the moon in the 1900s. No, we don't need no clap on that one. We don't need no clap on that one. We the
What you bringing to the
that's
table,
what we
brother?
need right there. We need that. We need Whoopi to help us out.
You in danger, girl.
But you're making a lot of money and you got big camps. I'm talking about buku people following you off of that doctrine that was hijacked from the rabbinic teachings. And you got educated people that believe that. Okay? If y'all think this is heavy, y'all wait till my book come out. I'm just touching the surface right here, right now. For show, for shizzo, for nizzo, right? I'm going to go really deep in the book, deeper than I have going today. So this is just milk. Okay. All right. So once again, they make a connection between Solomon, 1000 CE, and Hadrian, 100 AD or CE, right? From the Genesis Rabbah. Okay. All right, hated nations. Genesis Rabbah continues this midrash with different readings suggest that these are two hated nations. Two hated nations are in your womb. All of the world's nations hate Esau, and all of the world's nations hate Israel. Okay. The most hated of Yah's sons in your womb, as it says, Malachi 1:3, Esau have I hated. Although Rebekah's twin sons are both progenitors of two nations most hated by other nations, right? I know, I just throw a little something in here, right? Two nations, not two religions. Two nations, only one of the sons is also hated by Yah. The Midrash here makes use of the same verse of Malachi used by Paul in Romans. Yah hates Esau, says the prophet Malachi, but in this case, Esau is not a code for Paul opponents but for the Roman Empire. So you see what they did? Esau represents Rome, right? So why not write in literature, right? That y'all going to buy into, and stay out of the covenant of Yah because you teaching hatred and you teaching against the covenant because you teaching them to hate Esau, who's supposed to be your brother, and you saying this is Esau, but you hate Esau. Esau can't be saved and all this other stuff that we talk about, but yet at the same time, it's supposed to be a pillar of truth, but not knowing that you are doing the same thing that the rabbinic teachers did to the Christian church. That's an explosive statement right there. All right. Oh, Rebekah's twin sons are both progenitors of the two nations most hated by the other nations. Only one son is also hated by Yah. The rest here makes use of the same verse in Malachi used by Paul. Yah hates Esau and Malachi, but in this case, Esau is not the code for Paul's opponents, but for the Roman Empire. The metaphor of Rome as Esau was not limited to Hadrian or even to Romans who antagonized the rabbis. Even those Roman officials who were beloved by the rabbis still spoken of as descendants of Esau in rabbinic literature. According to the Talmudic legend, for instance, Antonius, probably a loose reference to Hadrian's successor Antonius Pius, worries that the descendants of Esau will not be saved, brother. Esau can't be saved. That's where they got it from. Is that Antonius Pius worries that as a descendant of Esau, he will not be saved. Avodah Zarah 10b translated Sepharia with adjustments. Okay. Here's the quote. Antonius said to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, will I enter into the world to come? The rabbi said to him, yes. Antonius said to him, but it is written, and there shall not be any remainder of the house of Esau, Obadiah 1:18, right? Esau gonna be destroyed, right? That's where it comes from, from the rabbinic teachers. Look what he said. He said, not any, he quotes from Obadiah 1:18, right? Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi answered, this refers to those who behave like Esau. Right? In this legend, Antonius identifies himself as a descendant of Esau and expressed his concern to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi that this will block his entry into the world to come. Since he reads the verse like the rabbis, that eradication of descendants refers to the next world, i.e. Messianic times. Rabbi Yehuda assures Antonius that this prediction applies only to the descendants of Esau, who act in a sinful manner of Esau and does not apply to Esau's righteous descendants. Okay, so I guess those of us that teach Esau can be a part of the covenant, side with that particular sector, right? Or do we side with what Scripture says? Okay. All right, next section says Herod and the origins of Rome connection. So why do rabbis associate Rome, a powerful city in Italy, which ruled the entire Mediterranean world from the late 1st century BCE to the late 5th century CE, with Edom, a small province southeast of Judea, which doesn't even rule itself? Connection likely derives from historical events associated with Herod the Great. Okay? So, as noted above, in the late 2nd century BCE, John Hyrcanus conquered Idumea, making it part of Judea, and forced its inhabitants to become under the covenant of Israel. Eventually, one Idumean converted named Antipater, which we read about in the book of Maccabees, succeeded in becoming an important advisor to the high priest Hyrcanus, grandson of John Hyrcanus. Later, Antipater own son Herod married into the priestly family and became king of Yahudea, right? So that right there, that's actually fulfilling of the prophecy when he talked about Esau, when he said Esau would get the advantage over his brother. That happened in the book of Maccabees, not in United States of America. And the eagle landing on the moon and planting the flag. That's such a laughable doctrine. The eagle has landed. The eagle has landed. Oh my mercy. Okay. So let's see here. So Antipater's son Herod married and became the first king of Yehudah, right? So he was not an Israelite king. He was a Herodian. Herod had strong ties with Roman officials and deep-seated ambition to rise into the ranks of Roman government. He was notoriously capricious and paranoid, killing off all surviving members of the Hasmonean family who presented potential royal competition, including his wife, 17-year-old brother Aristobulus, who he had drowned at a party. There goes that wicked Esau wickedness. Herod would later kill his wife, Marianne, okay, as well in addition to her mother and her family members. Under Herod, Judea was a client state of Rome, right? Maintaining a loose form of independence. This status of client state dissolved shortly after Herod's death in the 4th century BCE, when Judea was incorporated into the empire in 6 CE. But Herod's reputation as a cruel tyrant endured in rabbinical texts, and rabbis associated the tragedy of the Roman takeover of Judea directly with Herod, right? So let's go a little further. So we're showing you the connection of Rome being Esau, the source that many of our camps follow, the writings that are basically have their origin in the Talmudic writings that you talk against. Oh my mercy. Okay. Herod as a Roman. Despite his official status as a Jewish descendant of converts for the rabbis, Herod was not a Jew, but a archetypical Roman who occupied Jewish land, imposed his values upon the populace by force, and ruthlessly killed his enemies. The rabbis detest him, associating him with other unstable rulers whose cruelty would become a hallmark of their ruling government, such as Caligula, right, and Nero, right? Y'all got to go back to our teaching we did on the Maccabees. We cover a lot of that in that teaching, right? Our Shabbat lessons, okay? Many Israelites thought of Herod as being in league with Rome, and indeed his great grandchildren, Agrippa II and Berenice, opposed the Great Rebellion decades after Herod's death. The rabbis' knowledge of Herod's Idumean ancestry made him natural to connect this Roman ruler by extension. Romans in general with the people of Edom, and since Rome was the great power of the religion throughout the rabbinic period, and Romans destroyed the temple and the polity of Judea, it was natural to apply the Ustem narrative of Esau and Yaakov to the us-them reality of Rome and the Jews. Look at that. What? See, I'm looking at the comments. People want to discredit us for teaching the truth and want to try to identify us with the false narrative. We're showing you where this false teaching comes from so we can get away from it. We can break away from it. So we can teach kingdomship. So we can teach covenant. So we can teach priesthood and a nation of kings. I heard a noise over here, like Virginia coming to get me. Okay, wait a minute. Where was I at here? I lost my place. Good gravy. Let's read this again. I think I read that part. Okay. The rabbi's knowledge of Herod Idumean ancestry made it natural to connect this Roman ruler to extension. I read that part, right? Okay. The complex relationship that Israel had with Edom in the Hebrew Bible correlated well with the complex relationship that the Jews in the early rabbinic period had with Rome. So they keep telling you that's why they call Rome Esau, not because it has any genetic connection, not because it has any prophetic connection, not because it has any geographical connection or any relevance historically, but because of their personal passions against the Christian Rome. Just like the so-called camps have this passionate hatred against the so-called white man. So why not make him Rome? Why not make him Esau? And why not make him the devil? Rabbit tricks is for kids, right? Stop teaching a lie because it pacifies your emotions, and deal with history, geography, genetics. That's why y'all hate the DNA results. DNA proves, in fact, that they are not Shemitic connected to us. Right? E1B, 1B, E1B, 1A. That wasn't what somebody did, but you know what I'm talking about. Y'all that follow the DNA, y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, so let's get back in here. Where was that? Okay, now. So he said most Jews probably held both views, admiring Roman culture but fearing it at the same time. But the Herod Edom connection is not the whole story. Here we go. Reversing the Christian Esau Jacob metaphor. During Herod's time and on through the destruction of the temple and the putting down of Bar Kokhba's rebellion, Rome was polytheistic, worshiping Jupiter. Uh-oh. Say that again. Wait a minute. I had to highlight a comment. I saw something. Jamie, he probably dropped a shot and ran. You coward. You total coward. He says, stop trying to say the white man Esau. That's because you're a coward. Because you need to go back to the beginning of this lesson and learn something, Dodo Brain. That's what you need to do, because you grabbing a hold of a doctrine that you got from the people you call Esau to trap you and to make you still continue to stay in rebellion against the covenant that the Most High cut with our forefathers. Don't be a Dodo Brain your whole life. Okay. Now let's get back in. So where was I at here before I got interrupted? Hidden anti-Christian polemic. Is that where that I'm okay, wait a minute. Reversing the Christian Esau Yaakov metaphor. Okay. During Herod's time, right? During Herod's time and on through the destruction of the temple and putting down of the Bar Kokhba rebellion, Rome was polytheistic, worshiping Jupiter. That's where I was at. Rome was polytheistic, worshiping Jupiter, right? Right. So, um, Jasmine, is that a female? You lack scholarship. You and your emotions. That's what your problem is. You and your emotions. Right. It has nothing to do with loving. It has nothing to do with loving the master. It has everything to do with truth. And obviously, what you have been taught by your camp is a lie. It's pacifying your emotions. I don't know if you're a brother, you sound like a sensitive brother, right? Don't be emotional. If you're a sister, you're a misled. You're a silly woman led into like laden with sins, like Paul said, right? It's not an attack at you. That's a truthful statement, right? Don't be silly. Don't be a silly woman, right? And don't be led by your emotions, okay? I'm sorry. I'm trying to be nice, but people keep coming in here and saying stuff. They're not listening to nothing. They don't have no scholarship to support. All they have is vain philosophy that they got from the camps teaching that foolishness without any scholarship, not even know where it came from. We're gonna show you something. We're gonna show you something in modern times where they got all that Esau white man doctrine came from. The reverse of that, right? But we're showing you the origin. We're going way back before the 18th century. We're showing you where that doctrine originated. We're busting this doctrine up. We're making the devil mad as hell. All right. Now, where was that? Okay. So, remember we talked about in the previous lesson, we showed you how the Romans put the temple of Jupiter in Israel. And when they besieged Jerusalem, the Romans came and they put another temple. They actually rebuilt the temple, and it was a temple dedicated to Jupiter, who these camps still call on Jupiter's deity, Jesus. But you talking about, I love the Massa. When you love the master's deity and the name that goes with it. How about that? How about that? Your teacher then went back to his own doctrine, his vomit. Your teacher, the Bishop Nathaniel, used to teach Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. I know you're getting mad as hell now. I got receipts for that. I tried to put that video up. The YouTube don't like me. I put it up. They snatched it down and told me it was a copyright claim. I said, well, why come I can't do stuff other people can do? I wanted to show his followers, right, that your king, who's on all your images that you worship and love, used to teach Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. You probably from that camp. I can guarantee you from that camp. Ran out now, I bet you. Where's she at? Jasmine. I can guarantee you ran out now. I got receipts. I've been around a long time. I just seen the camps change their doctrine, change the 12 tribes chart and everything, but that's not the lesson. Okay, let's get back in. All right, so it said Rome was polytheistic, worshiping Jupiter and other Roman deities. See that? When the rabbis were writing their midrashim about Rome being Edom, however, Rome was already Christian. Moreover, Paul's allegory and his application to Jews would likely have been familiar to the rabbis both in Israel and Babylon who lived amongst Christians. It would seem that part of the rabbinic identification of Rome with Esau was in response to the Christian claim that Esau is the spiritual ancestor of the Jews. In other words, although the rabbis explicitly connect Esau with pagan Rome, referring to Hadrian and Antonimus, the destruction of the temple, and the Kash Bar Kokhba rebellion, they likely have Christian Rome in mind as well. Once the Roman Empire legalized Christianity in the 4th century, 325 AD, and adopted Christianity as the official religion, Edom became a cipher not just for the political entity Rome, but for the religious entity Christianity. Such as understanding of Esau and Edom would have been a particularly sharp and effective polemical counter-reading to the Paul and the church fathers. Whew. Can you see these dots being connected, brothers and sisters? All right. See the dots being connected? The church fathers and their supersessionism doctrine embraced that. They put the label of Esau on those of us who follow the covenant of Yah. What do? We flipped it. The Jews made Esau be Rome, and the Hebrew Israelites made Esau be the so-called white man. Can you see how we flipped it, right? We flipped it, and we teach it as a doctrine of truth, because why? We mad as hell at the oppressor because of what they said and did. I'm going to show you a book that we covered in a previous lesson in modern times, which is where the One West camps got their infiltration of the 12 tribe chart from the mystic teachings of the day. I'm giving you all this stuff for free. All right. Now, I ain't done yet. I got a lot more in this sharing. I got a whole book waiting on the shelf to be released with the stuff that I got. It's going to blow. It's going to explode this false doctrine on multiple levels. Matter of fact, Vocab Malone gonna be one of the first ones to get this book. He gonna love it. All right, now, let's see. Let's go back here. Now, listen what we just read. What the rabbi said. Listen what he said. He said, "Thus, once the Roman Empire legalized Christianity in the 4th century and adopted Christianity as official religion, Edom became the cipher, not just for the political entity of Rome, but for the religious entity Christianity, such as understanding of Esau and Edom would have been particularly sharp and effective polemical counter-reading to that of Paul and the church fathers," right? So this part, this is hidden anti-Christian polemic. Thus, when Antonius says to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi that he is afraid he will never be allowed into the world to come because of the prophet Obadiah has declared that no descendant of Esau will remain. The rabbis were saying that Christians will not be allowed into the world to come, though some righteous Romans who are good to the Jews can be saved. Even though Antonius lived before Christianity became the official religion of Rome, historically, Antonius Pius was not a Christian himself. The Jewish readers of Babylon know that Rome symbolizes. Similarly, he says, when Genesis Rabbah quotes the verse that Yah hates Esau, immediately followed the Midrash that the prophecy by Esau refers to Emperor Hadrian. The rabbinic authors are polemicizing against Paul's use of the same verse in Romans. Yah hates Esau means that Yah hates Romans. And by extension, rabbis are saying that this verse means that Yah hates Christians. Again, even though Hadrian lived before Rome became Christian and was not himself a Christian, Jewish readers of Genesis Rabbah know that what Rome symbolizes. Okay, let's go further. Explicit polemic in medieval time. All right, ask Bishop Nathaniel, where's the medieval times there, Bishop Nathaniel? He know all this stuff. Okay, now why he don't teach it? You gotta ask him that question. See, when somebody teach something against what you teaching, you want to try to discredit them, right? But hey, I'm reading with the where this originated from. It sounded like to me, he said, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's a snake. Is it a duck? Or have you been bamboozled, right? Right? Or have you been bamboozled?
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled.
You've been had. You've been bamboozled. Right? All right. Let's continue. The implicit polemic eventually becomes explicit in medieval Jewish commentators who use Edom as a cipher for Christianity without veneer of pagan Rome. For example, a prophecy about destruction of Edom appears in Isaiah 63:1, which begins when the prophet sees a vision of a man of being with stained garments. Okay. Who is this coming from Edom in crimson garments from Basra? Who is this majestic in attire pressing forward in the great might? Asked why his garments are so red, he answered that it's because he has been trampling people in his rage, and the blood has splattered on his clothing in his gloss. On this verse, Abraham Ibn Ezra 1089 to 1167 writes that the begin is Yah himself. Oh, the being is Yah himself. And the reason is because of this decree he made against Edom. This is reference to Rome and Constantinople. And they are called Edomites because they join with the teachings of Edom, in parenthesis Christianity, and his teachings are called Edomite because the Idumeans were the first to believe in the teachings of the well-known man Jesus. Read that again. Let's back that up again. He says, and they're called Edomites because they join with the teachings of Edom Christianity. And this teaching is called, now I want to back up because I want you to be clear what's being said here, right? Okay. The doctrine of not under the law, right? The doctrine of God has many names and all that stuff that comes from Christianity, right? They're labeling that as the doctrine of Esau or the seed of the serpent, right? Now, that's why he makes the quote. Look what he says here. He says, and they're called Edomites because they join with the teachings of Edom, right? But I want to go back up here, right here where it says that Edom as a cipher of the Christianity with the veneer of pagan Rome. So I can see why they would say that, because when you look at the doctrine, right? You look at all the stuff that Christianity gave us, Christmas, And they got videos. Christmas is not pagan. New Year's, all the festivals that the Romans embraced from the Babylonian same territory where Abraham was left from, was instructed by Yah to get out from them. They brought all that Babylonian doctrine into the Roman Empire and gave it to you and encased it in a doctrine, in a religion called Christianity. But we don't see that it's pagan. Okay, but I digress. Okay, so he said, and this reason is because of the decree made against Edom. This is reference to Rome and Constantinople, and they are called Edomites because they join with the teachings of Edom, Christianity, and the teachings of Edomite, because the Idumeans were the first to believe in the teachings of the well-known man Jesus, right? So now, the difference is that Yahshua didn't teach this foolishness that is associated with Jesus. That's what he's saying. I don't know if he's saying it in that particular way, but Yahshua existed, and Yahshua did not teach against this Jesus that they created, taught all against the laws of the Most High, and just believe in me, right? Okay, let's continue. Putting aside the dubious historical claim about the early Idumean embracing Christianity, Ibn Ezra's point. So this was Ibn Ezra's point that Edomite is first and foremost a cipher of the Christian religion, and only by extension and reference to Rome, who adopted this religion. So they're saying that the Romans adopted the religion of Esau. Oh my goodness, oh my mercy. Father, help us today. Let's continue. He says another way to look at this polemic, readers of Midrash text quoted above might assume that the rabbinic associated with Esau with Rome's points to Yah's unequivocal rejection of Rome and Christianity. Just as Esau was rejected son who received no covenantal inheritance from Yah, so too were Rome and Christianity rejected by Yah in favor of a relationship with Israel. But if the rabbis meant to suggest that Rome and Christianity deserved nothing but scorn and rejection, it would have made more sense to associate them with the antagonists who had no familiar relationship with Israel. The reference to Rome and Christianity as Esau thus indicates that Rome, and even more powerful Christianity, is a sibling to Judaism. Let me back this up again, right? Say that again, okay? The reference to Rome Christianity as Esau thus indicates that Rome, and even more powerful Christianity, is a sibling to Judaism, while according to the rabbis, Yah made no covenant relationship with Roman Christianity. He's right about that one there. He's right about that there. Oh my goodness. The Jews have an unavoidable theology sibling relationship with Roman Christianity, whether they want it or not. Perhaps the most significant aspect of rabbinic associated with Esau with Rome and Christianity is that when we last see Esau in the Hebrew Bible, he has reconciled with his brother Yaakov, and they live near one another, if not among one another, in peace. Right. So that's the end of that article, right? I think that was some good stuff there. Most of that I can concur with. And so now, I mean, let's see y'all like this lesson here. Everybody commenting back and forth all day long. Let's see what time I got. Oh my goodness, it's 12 o'clock. We overtime. I had a chance to get to what I was going to get to. That right there took the whole lesson, just going through that. But that was some good stuff in there. What I'll do is this: I'll cut this short. Maybe I'll do a part 2 next week, because there's more. There's a whole lot more. Since I'm in the free mode, there's a whole lot more to this story. There are different links, multiple links in here. Let me see what I want to share with you here. Here's something interesting I found. Somebody asked a question, and let's see if I could put this one on the screen here. Okay. So this is what came up in my search. Edomites in Rome, question mark. This person says, I'm a student of history and worshiper of Yahweh here. I know that Herodian dynasty was an Edomite lineage and backed by Rome as a means of displacing the Hasmonean dynasty and providing Caesar with military political presence in the region of Judea. What I'm having difficulty identifying is what happened to the Edomites after the Judean rebellion was defeated by Rome in 70 CE. I read somewhere, I wish I remember where exactly, that there exists a tradition within the oral Torah that claims the Edomites became part of the Roman Empire. Have any of you ever heard this? Heard of something along these lines? Thanks. So now this person commented down here. I'm gonna go to this comment because they started attacking them for saying Yahweh. But this person here, this comment was deleted. They say you are correct that this exists within our tradition. So apparently this is a Jewish person, right? But it is not supported by the historical record. Wait a minute. This person said it's not supported by a historical record. Look, that's the same thing I've been telling these camps. Esau being the white man cannot be supported by a historical record. No kind of form, fashion, shape, or they don't even have the DNA to connect them to us being the tribes of Israel. Okay. So this person said no. He said, you're correct. That exists within our tradition. So it's a traditional teaching, but it's not supported by historical record. Edomites were an ancient civilization that lived in modern day Jordan from 3,300 years ago until about 2,100 years ago. They were probably close relative to the ancient Israelites. They were builders of Petra, right? That's another book I got. I don't have time. I'm not going to do that here. Arabia Petra. Okay, Arabia Felix Petra, I think. Okay. They were builders of Petra by the classical period, and they assimilated into the Nabatean culture or various Hellenized cities, right? The connection between Edom and Rome does not appear in rabbinic literature until the 12th century. So they're wrong on that one there. It was the second century, over 1,300 years after Edomites. So they're wrong on that, on the time frame. Here's somebody else commented. This was 7 years ago. They said the majority of Edomites were converted to Judaism and assimilated to the Jewish people. Actually, only their eastern environments came in contact with the Nabateans. Only their eastern environs came in contact with Nabatean, and majority moved to the northern edge of the lands and are documented as a Jewish faction. They did not live in modern day Jordan. The majority of their lands were situated in southern Israel, with wedge extending towards the western Jordan, but populated centers. The majority of people were southern Israel, where they pushed to the area of the Nabatean, and by worshiping of Quas, we can infer they were highly similar to the Israelite Judeans. It's travel that misattributes them to being Nabateans even mentions they adopted Judean customs and intermarried. Okay, so I think I'm gonna share a nugget. Okay, I think I'm going to share a nugget. Like the Gentile, you still there? Oh man, I think I'm gonna share a nugget for you. Okay, I'm gonna do this for you. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's close this one down. Okay. Okay, let's close this one down. Cancel that. Let's save it. I'm trying to close some of these screens down so I can see what's going on here. Okay. Like the Gentile, you still okay? Good. It's extracurricular. If you gotta go to your Knesset. I comprehend that. You can hang around if you don't. This is overtime, overkill. Got some stuff. I'm gonna drop it because I don't want to do a part two. Really, I really don't want to do a part two. Okay, I want to finish this off. So let's see if I can. let's see, where am I here? Sorry about that. Got a little throat scratchy. Okay, these links I have, I'm going to kind of. Okay, let's see. First link we'll give you. This is the this is why it's important to see. Just showing you references of books that repeat this, and this is what our people get a copy of, and they get a hold of it in the 19th century, but not realizing that Esau being Rome goes way back to the first century, and it was really indoctrinated when Christian church started. They really started teaching that back then, right? To flip the narrative, right? So this book here, this link here, I'm going to share, is a book, like to the Gentiles. Since you hung out with a brother, I'm gonna give you some links here. All right. So this one here is let's see. This is a book called The Rise of Christendom. So on page this is page 72. Okay. I don't know that you can see it that big, but let's see if I can blow it up just a little bit. Zoom in. Okay, one more time. Okay. It says, this is page 72 of The Rise of Christendom by John Edwin Johnson, who lived between 1842 and 1901. He says the most medieval scholar of strangers in Rome appears to be that of the Jews in the Trastevere. Okay. Its history is quite dark until about the middle of the 12th century. I shall have subsequently to point out that all these strangers' notes which run through the Roman literature from Cicero concerning the Judea, that the great influence in Rome from part of the system of monkish interpolation. Such Jews are purely imaginary entirely. Is that the page that I want? Let me see them. Let me get to the point I'm trying to get to. Okay, right here he says, but for the 12th century we find convergence of various lines of evidence. There is a curious notice of R. Benjamin of Tudela, which describes rabbins as forming part of the suite of the Pope, the head of the Edomites. There are the notice of Jewish Leone family who give an hold on a second. Pant of the chair of Peter finally. That's not the part I wanted to read. Where is the part I wanted to read? We're at 72. Let's see. Hold on a second. Hold on a second there, my brother. Hold on a second. I want to show you the part where they said. Okay, it's this right here. Is this the one I want? Hold on a second. I'm drawing a blank here. I was looking for a specific quote. Hold on a second there, my brother. Okay, this is the page here. Okay, I had the wrong page. Okay. Now this is page 291. Let's blow it up real quick. Okay. It says, now the medieval chroniclers say expressly that Edom means the Roman Empire or the European powers. It is well known that the medieval rabbins take delight in employing a great number of synonyms drawn from biblical chronicles and genealogies to express the same idea. Just as with Arabians, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, is symbolic expression for power, immediate or to the Semites, so with Assyrians, Chaldees, Ammonites, Moabites, Philistines, and the like. Okay. The Jews are not children of Ishmael. They honor the young son of Abraham, but both branches of the stock regard Esau, Edom, i.e., the Greeks and Romans, as elder brother of the Israelites. So that's page what was that, page 292 on that link I gave you. That's in this book was published in 1890. So these writings a lot of these books that they teach Esau is Rome is a tradition that was passed down through the rabbinic schools as a result of their oppression by Rome. So that was the generic reason for Rome being Esau, not because there was any blood relationship to them, but because of the oppression from the Roman Empire. That's the point of the discussion, right? Okay, now, so that's one source there. I'm glad I got that out the way. I was pulling teeth trying to find the right page. All right. So, like the Gentile, did you get that one? Okay. Oh, Elias Stone. Okay, let me go up here and Edward Barber. Edward Barber, are you still there with that comment that you just passing through, posting a comment to get highlighted? Because I'll highlight your comment if you like. If you're still here. Are you still here? Edward Barber. Edward Barber, are you still in? Okay. So I'm gonna say this right here. Edward Barber. Oh, there he is. Okay. So on your comment, you said first covenant is over because the Father needed a body for Jesus to die in our salvation. So where can we read that at? What you're quoting, where can we read that at? I mean, what you're saying is something that you've been indoctrinated to believe, but where can we read what you just said? Where is that found at? In the biblical text, anywhere. Please provide us a reference so we can read it. Okay. No, I'm addressing. I'm not gonna go back because there's too many comments for me to go through to find what you're saying. So what's, just give me the reference, the verse that you're quoting to support what you just said about him needing a body. Where can we find it at? To replace the covenant. See, because that's what you said. The first covenant is over. I'm talking about that one I just quoted. I'm not talking about the other things you posted. I'm talking about that one thing that you just said that I saw, that I read, where I'm going to read again your comment. You said first covenant is over because the Father needed a body for Jesus. I'm reading exactly that words, to die in for our salvation. So a new covenant was grafted up because the blood of animals could not remove sin. Okay. That's what I'm saying to you, my brother. Okay. So that's what I'm saying to you, my brother. So when you come with stuff like that, that's basically the reason why we're doing series like this. We're showing you that Christianity have given us a whole another religion. They replaced the people of the book. Okay. While he's thinking, getting that together, I'm gonna go give you another reference. Like to the Gentile, you still there? Let's see. Elias Stone said what? Okay, let's see. Let's see where we are here. Carlos, we're not gonna make this about me. You want a video of my full belief? It don't have to do. It has nothing to do with what I believe. It's what the scriptures say. So I don't know why would I a video of my full belief. My belief means nothing. It's what the scriptures say. It's what it really boils down to, right? Hebrews 10:5, he says. So Hebrews 10:5 is supposed to mean that. So let's read it here. Okay. And I'm brother, like to the Gentiles, I'm gonna get this link to you. Let me just read this real quick, for brother Barber. So Hebrews 10:5, always people. Now Hebrews, you gotta keep in mind that the Israelites always quoted Torah, right? So whenever you read something in the second half of the Bible that the world calls the New Testament, you got to go back to Torah to see what are they quoting, and are you using the proper application, or are you using a Christian indoctrinated expression of what you read? Because that's what happens a lot of times. We read a Christian expression of it. So he said 10:5. I know what you're going from, but I'm gonna read it. Okay. So the law having a shadow of good things, right, to come, and not of the very image of the things that can ever those sacrifices which offered year by year continually make the comers unto perfect. For they would not have ceased to be offered, because the worshippers once purged should have no more conscience of sin. But for it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins, right? So from the standpoint of that, Israelites already knew that the blood of bulls and goats could not take away sins. Even King David said that in his writing. Okay, verse 5. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, sacrifice offering thou wilt not, but a body hast thou prepared me. Okay. In burnt offerings and sacrifice for sin thou hast not no pleasure. Then he said, lo, I come to do thy will. He had taken away the first, that he may establish the second, by which will we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Yahshua once and for all. Okay. And every priest standeth daily ministering, offering oftentimes the same sacrifice, which can never take away the sins. Okay. But this man, after offering for sin, offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand from henceforth, expecting till his enemy made his footstool. For by one offering he hath perfected forever them that are sanctified. Okay. Okay. So, is it the sacrifice that makes the person perfect? Because I get where you're trying to go with this, and this is what we've been taught to teach. Is it the sacrifice that makes the person perfect, or is it the obedience? Because it says that for the offering, for by one offering he perfected forever them that are sanctified. Okay. So what does it mean to be sanctified? Because the offering perfected them that are sanctified. What does that mean? Does that mean that Yahshua died, and since he died, you're perfect, you don't have to worry about keeping the law? because that's what the Christian concept teaches us. That if that be the case, then why is the world such a chaos as it is today? The world should be perfect. Shouldn't be no death, no destruction. Nobody should be going to jails. Nobody should be stealing and killing and all of that. And should be lawlessness in the streets, right? If it's perfected, if that's what the Christian doctrine is trying to teach, but we don't see that, then why do we attend church services? Why do we attend Bible classes? Why are we on live streams if everything is perfected? So that's a Christian doctrine that is not even implied in that text that you just shared, right? Okay, I see where you're going. Um, I'm not sure if you have a YouTube channel. If you want to have a discussion, if you want to have a discussion outside of this, I'm not going to extend this to go over whether we're in the new covenant with you or not. But to make a quick, short, fast answer, I did a lesson on it. We're not in the new covenant by no form, fashion, or shape. Okay, there's too many criteria that have to be fulfilled for us to be in the New Testament, New Covenant. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me I promise some links here. What I'm gonna do is let me see if I can get back in here. Okay. So that was Rise of Christendom. Let's see. This is the book of Benjamin Trudell. I'm not gonna give you that one. That's too much stuff there. What's this here? It's a little book. Okay, let's give you this one here. Let's give you this one here. This is the little this is the little book, Keys to the Bible in Heaven. So this is let me see if I can find the page right. Let's see. So I can send you the link here. You'll like this one here. Let's see. I want to get the right page here for you. Just bear me a second. Oh, and this one here. Let me let you see what I'm looking at here. I'm trying to find. Okay, I think this is a page. This is a good page. I was looking for. Hold on, before I do that, let me see. This is 206. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna give you this page here, and this page is where it talks about Esau. He explains Esau. Okay, that's Esau. Okay, I got something else. I got something good. I got something good. I'm gonna give you. I mean, I ain't got to. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you before I shut the stream down, right? But that there, that is the book that the One West camps allegedly use to formate their 12 tribes chart doctrine. What I want to show you is the 12? Hold on a second. It's a particular page on that I want you to see. It's a chart. It's actually a chart, I believe. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get to it. Where's the chart at? It might not be coded in here. Hold on a second. Not a part of my sharing today, but I had wanted to share these links with you. Let's see, where is it at? The 12. I'm looking for a chart where he actually breaks down the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, what page is that on? Father, help me find it. Help me find this page. It's a chart I'm looking for. Okay. Okay. All right. I can't find. Let's see. Hold on a second. Good gravy. I'll be all day trying to find this. Yeah, it's a lot of pages there. Okay. When I find it, I'll reference you the page. But it's a chart that actually shows you the 12 tribes. Okay, let's see. Maybe I can find it this way. It seems to be turning the pages pretty fast. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Right here. See if I can flip. So this is the page. Okay, this is the page where they had the 12, right? Okay, let's see. Let's put this. This is the same link. Okay, so on this page here, now if you flip this around, right? Let's see if I can. Can I rotate the page? Oh, can't do it. I have to. This shows you the 12 sons. How can I flip this around? Let's do this here. Real quick, I'll do this, and then I got one more link I'm gonna share with you. Then I'm gonna wrap this session up. We'll close it down. Want to share this with you. Okay. Let's see. Now, how do I flip this? Rotate. Okay. I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. I think I have to save it first. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do it. I want to show you this 12. Let's see. I printed it, and now let's see if I can. Hold on a second. Huh, I can't find it. Where did I save it at? Mm, pictures. Let's see. No. Oh, screenshots. Okay, I think I can rotate it from here. Let's see. I think. Okay. All right. There you go. There you go. So then this is on page 60. The keys to Bible in heaven. You got Adam, Kawah, Abel, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch. So he's got these are supposed to be reincarnations, right? Um. Okay. That's all I'm going to do on that. And let's see. Let me get you this link so I can wrap this session up here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Now, with regards to Esau, uh, okay, this is a book called Annals of the World. Annals of the World, Volume 2. Okay, wait a minute. Where's the link at for the book? Hold on a second. Annals of the World, Volume 2. I gotta pull it up first. This is not the original. I want the original. This is somebody's copy. I want the original. Here, let's try this one here. Okay, hold on a second. What page did I say it was? I said page 548. No, that's not the one. Hold on, my brother. I want to give you the right link. Let's see. Annals of the World. Let's click this link here. Okay, this is not the one. I might have to use this one. 548. This is not showing the pages. Let's see. Is it this one here? Let me see. Hold on a second. That's not it either. This is a copy of a copy. I'm trying to get you the original one. Okay, is this one here? Let's see. This ain't it either. Okay. I'm having a hard time. I actually have the copy on my computer. I was trying to find a link for you. Okay. Annals of the World is what I'm trying to pull up by James Usher. That's not it. Okay. My brother, what I'm gonna do is I'll send you the link when I find it. But actually, in the book he talks about is antipod of the Idumea in the prime of nation, both of birth and wealth, son of the Antipas, who they lay was by Alexander, king of the Yahudim, and his wife Alexandra, appointed governor of all Idumea, head by his wife Cyprus, who was born at the eminent place amongst Arabians. His son Herod afterwards king of Judea, for he was 25 years old when his father sent him over to Galilee, of which more is to be laid at the year of the world 3957. You know what? That's not the one I wanted to share with you. That's some good stuff though. Let me dig it out. Maybe I'll do a part 2 next week. Cause I have stuff in here that I didn't even include in this sharing. Look out for part 2 next week. I'm not gonna just do that. All right, I got too much stuff to try to. I got pages of stuff here. I didn't realize I had that much stuff left. Okay. All right, so let's see. Let me look at the comment message board real quick. See if anything real quick I can look at and address. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, okay, so I'll just go ahead and do part 2 next week. Continue with that. Hell yeah, Stone. Who you battling with today? So Solomon was more a devil than Esau. Solomon was more a devil. Thank you for joining our live stream. Please be respectful with comments. Okay, you're correct. Okay, you're speaking facts, Edward. Esau did worship foreign deities, but so did Solomon. Solomon consorted with demons. Yeah, with Solomon, the teaching is not about Solomon. So your point is mute. Why do you think prophets wrote fear Yah and keeping his commandments? Why do you think the prophets wrote fear Yah and keep his commandments? I mean, this is a no-brainer right there. And prophets didn't write. Yah told them because man needs to have a change of heart, because we're just desperately wicked and self-centered. Okay, last thing I will add, Carlos. Carlos doesn't keep his commandments and laws, will go straight to the lake of fire. Edward, I mean, it's not so much about going to see. We get religious. It's not about keeping the law and commandments. It's not about whether we're gonna go to the lake of fire or not. It's about life. The law was given for life. Okay, what happens after you die, that's something different. But the thing of it is, the law was given to the living, right? For us to have order, for us to be successful in life, how to treat other people, how to treat our bodies, how to raise a family, how to handle our finances. The law was given us for success, is what it was given to us. Read Deuteronomy 30 on that one. Hagar was Egyptian princess. She was given to Abraham as a political marriage. I don't see the relevance of that to this particular lesson, but hey, Shabbat Shalom, Akot Kahaniyah. Yes, indeed. Baruch Shabbat to Morey Irvin too as well. Anyone keeps the law, otherwise save your breath for the fools. Not change any law of Moses, just almost sacrifice since party don't get. Okay, so no, the animal sacrifice is going to start back up in the kingdom. We did a lesson on that, so you can go back and. But during the kingdom age, it's going to be the law is going to go back forth from Jerusalem, and they're going to be sacrificial systems start back up during the kingdom age. The priests will be reinstated. So no, that sacrifices were suspended because there's no temple, and the Israelites were scattered abroad. Ishmael never raised his hands against his relatives. He had to fight his Egyptian relatives, Hagar family. That's not true either, because Esau was part of the alliance in Psalms, where he says the enemies of Yah have made crafty counsel against thy people. He talks about Ishmaelites and Hagarites that were in alliance with Esau. Right. The Romans depicted him as black. Esau is in white. That's correct. That's right. Esau is red or white, but they're not Gentiles. Esau is black, and so yeah, no, Esau looks like the brother right there, and some of Esau look like this brother on the right, due to mixing with Hamitic people, Hamitic stock. Okay. Cain never made it past the flood. Only Noah's family read the Bible and stopped guessing. Cain's seed never made it. Oh no, that's not to me. It's somebody else. He saw married. Thanks for the sources. When Joseph was sold in slavery by his brother, Joseph was blessed and saved. Okay, so D White is a new visitor, and Edward. So I want to just openly welcome you to the room. This lesson is so involved that I didn't have a chance like I usually do to go through the notes. So if you're still here, greetings to the room. Come back and join us again on the following Shabbat. We'll continue. Edward, same to you, Edward Barber. Okay, first you will either. Okay, like the Gentile page 60, your audio is breaking up. Okay. Did you decide that David was to be the leader of the Hebrews, but Israel only had 70 followers? Yeah, my Bible's about baby mama drama. How about that? Isn't that something? Okay, all looks good. Let's see. A lot of comments. I'll look at them a little later. Okay, I'm exhausted. I'm out. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Close it down. We thank you all that hung in for this particular last overtime. And next Shabbat, brother, we'll come back and do part 2. Sorry for the confusion on the title. If it confused anybody, it wasn't my intention to confuse anybody, but it was to be like a clickbait. So Esau the devil. I'm just using the language that they speak. Esau the devil. Okay. So we thank you all for joining us, and we'll pray.
that the peace of Yah that passes all comprehension keep our hearts and mind. For those that are going to continue in this Shabbat, may the blessings of Yah be with us all. Keep our hearts and minds together through the Messiah to me again. Hallelujah. 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 Till next Shabbat, say Shabbat Shalom.